A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia. Claudia, based on the original stories by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Would you please pass the toast, Mrs. Brown?
You have a healthy appetite, David.
That's because I've got a clear conscience. No regrets of any kind for anything.
Not even one regret for marrying me?
Not even one.
Good. Then I'll let you have your coffee.
Ow.
Careful, it's hot.
Well, thanks for telling me.
You're welcome. Hand all right?
Oh, fine, grand.
Toast sounds good this morning.
It is. Wonderful.
New kind of bread. Glad you like it, David. That's his fourth piece, Claudia.
His fifth. And stop counting, Mommy. You're making self-conscious. I like to see him eat.
Thank you.
He's a growing boy. He needs nourishment. Said so himself.
I also need cream for my coffee, if you don't mind.
I forgot the cream. It's still outside in the hall.
I'll get it.
I'll get it.
No, I'll get it.
Can't go out looking like that, Claudia.
Yes. Do you want to disgrace me, young lady? I'm perfectly willing and able to get the cream myself. As a matter of fact, I'd rather than have all the trouble.
I'd rather.
I'll go. No one will see me.
Careful, you're shaking the table.
Sorry, Mama.
As long as you're up, Mrs. Norton, would you mind closing that window? The draft is blowing my coffee too cool for me.
You don't like the air?
I love the air, but it's too much.
First thing in the morning is when you need it most.
First thing in the morning is when I need some cream for my coffee most.
It's practically on the table right now.
Quite a struggle. Glad to see you've got willpower, David.
Oh, your daughter's not so bad, Mrs. Brown. I'll get used to her, but you should see some of my clients.
Not they difficult, too?
Oh, very, very.
You'll manage. Anything in particular you'd like me to teach Claudia to make for you tonight?
Give her full swing and see what she comes up with. How about that?
You don't know the risk you're running. It's taking an awfully long time getting that cream.
I've got an early appointment at the office today, too. Claudia, where are you, darling? We're too big to play hide and seek, little girl. Come on back.
Funny. She never misses a chance to answer back.
Oh. Claudia, come on back, dear. All is forgiven.
Maybe something happened, David.
We better go look for her. She'd expect it.
Claudia, where are you? Answer me. David, she's not in the kitchen or in the living room.
No?
Maybe did you... What about the window?
No, that's ridiculous, Mother. I told her to close. Oh, but she didn't.
David, where do you suppose?
Now, Mother, there's no need to get upset. Oh, there she is.
She must have locked herself out. I'll go.
We'll both go. When I get my hands on her, we're coming. Yeah. It's stuck again. This time from the inside.
Lift up on it. Her hair's such a mess in that house coat.
I should leave her out there all morning, too. I would if I didn't have to get to the office. There. Now you can come in.
She's not here. No one is.
Claudia, if this is your idea of a joke, Claudia. Claudia!
Good morning. Who's your dog?
No, just my wife.
Oh, well, she's not in the hall. I passed here just a minute ago to pick up my paper at the elevator.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
You ought to do something for that cough. Right. Mother, she's not in the hall. She must be somewhere in here. On the bed. Oh, I know it. Out the back door.
Claudia!
It's the front door again. She must be out there. I'm coming, Claudia. I'm coming.
Let me in, David. Let me in quick.
I am.
Hurry up.
Well, what happened? Where were you? I could wring your neck.
Stuck again.
Oh, that lock.
You're all dusty.
Of course I'm dusty. I was in the broom closet for half an hour.
Take this rag off your place. Very logical place to be, too. Come on in, Mrs. Norton. It's not the broom closet, but come on in.
Oh, thanks. Hey, dust me off, Mama.
I suppose the milkman left the cream in the broom
Listen,
closet.
will you let me explain? I went out for the cream.
Oh, no.
David,
Then the
I
grass in
knew
the
I
window
should
blew
have
the door
gone.
shut after
I
me.
told you to close that window,
And
remember?
just as I was knocking to get back in, a man came down the hall. Well, naturally, I didn't want anybody to see me looking like this, and the lock stuck, so I hid.
In the broom closet.
He didn't see me either.
Well, good for him.
Neither did we when we opened the door.
That's because
You
we
were in the broom closet, I
Right.
know. Now, both of you sit down and listen to what I have to say. Sit down there. Sit down.
I'm sitting.
Now, something has got to be done about that lock in the front door today. Any questions?
Do you have time to finish your coffee, David?
It's cold.
I'll warm it up for you.
I'll drink it cold. Never mind. Where's the cream?
David, I left it in the broom closet.
Good afternoon. Something for you two ladies?
Yes, we'd like to buy a new lock.
Door lock? What size?
What size is our lock, Mama?
Just average. I didn't know they go by sizes.
Oh, size of the hole drilled in your door. If you want me to install it for you, doesn't make any difference. I'll bring my drill along.
Oh, we'll want you to install it.
50 cents extra.
That'll be all right.
Any particular kind of lock you want? I got a tricky new one come in last week.
Nothing tricky, please. Just the least complicated lock you have.
Tell you what. Got a used lock in a tray today. Lets you have it for 50 cents off list price. Put it in for you besides.
Is it in good condition?
Pre-war, lady.
What do you think, Claudia?
As long as it works, Mama. Say, we'll be 50 cents to the good, too.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll take it. Can you install it this afternoon?
Be right with you, lady. Be right with you.
Mama, what time is it?
6:20, and can I come into the kitchen now?
Not yet. I want to try and make the potato salad by myself.
Sure you don't want any help?
Positive. Say, this is fun.
Well, be sure you wash the grater off. Onion sticks in the little holes.
Mama, how'd you know?
You're using a very strong onion.
These are my first tears since I've been married. Well, everything's in the icebox. David should be home soon. You know, my timing's getting wonderful.
Did you season the steak? Put on some garlic.
Doesn't need garlic.
How do you know?
We're not having steak.
Since when?
Since I marketed steak tomorrow. Tonight, cold cuts.
Claudia, it's a little early in your marriage for cold cuts.
Cold cuts, warm heart. Besides, it goes better with potato salad.
The cold cuts, of course.
Of course.
What are you rubbing your eyes for?
What do you think? They itch.
Don't you remember I told you to keep a slice of apple between your teeth when you're peeling onions?
I did. Only it tasted so good I ate it before I got around to the onion.
Clean up the kitchen?
Of course. Say, Mama, don't you think that big chair would look better next to the window instead of next to the radio?
I do not. There'd be no place to sit next to the radio then.
Well, we could move the chair from the other window next to the radio.
We tried it like that a month before you married David. We decided we didn't like it.
Mama, a woman's point of view changes about lots of things after she gets married. Give me a hand with the chair, Mama, will you?
All right. It's against my better judgment. Let's not lift. Let's push.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, push. Oh, that's David. I'll have to open for him. He doesn't have the key to the new lock yet.
I'm beginning to feel the same way about that door that he does.
Coming. Hello, darling. Hey, what's the matter? Come on in.
I know everything can be explained now. I know that. I don't believe in the supernatural. But this defies all laws of man, nature, and Claudia.
What does, David? Hey, don't just stand there. Come on in.
Hello, David. What's wrong?
Nothing, Mrs. Brown. Nothing at all. Probably just me.
David, you're not sick.
Not very, I don't think. I'll just sit down here in this chair in the middle of the floor, facing nowhere in particular. From here, the room has a slightly rakish appearance. Like a picture I once saw called After the Earthquake.
We were moving it to the window when you knocked.
I'm very sorry I interrupted you, but I did want to get in, if you don't mind. I had a perfectly good key, of course, to a brand new lock that I installed this afternoon while you girls were out. The perfectly good key to the brand new lock worked fine. I tried it before I left. Then I come home. The perfectly good key no longer fits the brand new lock.
Doesn't?
No, because the brand new lock no longer looks brand new. Now, can there possibly be an explanation to that?
It's funny, isn't it? We all thought to change the key today.
Oh,
I told you the man was right, Claudia.
What man, Mother?
The man who put in the lock Mom and I bought this evening. He said the lock in the door was a new one. I told him it was crazy. I told him it was the same one we'd had for years.
You did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The man was right.
But it doesn't matter, David. We have another lock on the door now. It didn't cost much at all because, you see, Mom and I bought a slightly used one.
A slightly used one?
Pre-war.
And where did this little bargain come from?
The little man on the corner, Mr. Potter, I think his name was.
Potter.
Mm-hmm.
The little man on the corner.
David, where are you going?
I've just had a horrible thought, and I'm going to verify it. It's verified.
What's verified?
I visited Mr. Potter this afternoon. I brought him the lock we had on this door. I traded it to him for a new one. So, there's no wonder that my old key fits this lock.
David, you mean that...
Exactly. And you have a distorted sense of humor, Mrs. Brown.
I know. Isn't it terrible?
Mama and I bought our old lock back.
Brilliant, my child. Exactly. That's what you did.
Oh, well, what's the difference? It works now. Mr. Potter must have fixed it.
Oh, of course.
I know it
sure
works,
did.
because Mom and I didn't have any trouble with it. And just now you didn't.
No, but I probably will.
You
Give me time.
won't, darling. Besides, I'm kind of glad we've got the old lock back. It's almost just like a member of the family.
Well, as long as it works. But if it sticks just once...
Buy yours back. Come on in now, David. The cold cups will be warm.
Well, since we're all safely inside at one time, I'll shut the door. Besides, you wouldn't want me to kiss you in front of an open door, would you, Claudia?
The story material used in this broadcast of Claudia was under the supervision of Rose Franken and William Brown Maloney. You've probably noticed that it's much easier to get Coca-Cola these days. But has it occurred to you to buy yours by the case? Buying Coca-Cola by the case is really a very good idea. Your grocer or service station will gladly put one in your car for you. You get 24 bottles. With 24 bottles in the refrigerator in the pantry, you're set to take care of a thirsty family and thirsty friends. Why not ask your grocer or your service station attendant to put a case of Coca-Cola in your car today? Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir, and remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For ice-cold Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes.
X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, End as a World by F.L. Wallace. But first, hear this.
When the place is fine and the time is right, when the moon is low and the stars are bright.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X minus 1 and End as a World.
I saw it on the doormat in the front porch. The boy had made a lucky throw, and the paper was spread out neatly on the doormat facing me as I came out of the screen door. The headline was black across the top. They used the big type, the kind they use for presidential elections or when the town all-star Little League team won the national championship. I stood and looked at it through the screen door. I hadn't quite rubbed the sleep out of my eyes, so first all I saw was the little boxes of the screen. And then suddenly my eyes snapped into focus and I read it. This is the day the world ends.
Pete, come in and eat your breakfast.
Well, just a minute, Ma.
Now, you leave the newspaper alone. You can read it later. Come on now, the eggs are getting cold.
Yeah, but Ma, it's today.
Well, what's today?
Well, look at the headline. Let's see the only thing on the front page. Well, look.
This is the day the world ends. Oh, that. Well, world's end or no, I won't have eaten cold scrambled eggs. Now, you sit right down and eat your breakfast.
I brought the newspaper into the breakfast table. I turned to the sports page. The Dodgers were winning or losing, I forget which, and UCLA was strong and was going to beat everybody they met that fall. An H-bomb had been tested in the middle of the Pacific, blowing another island off the map, just as if we had islands to spare. Ordinarily, that would be on the front page, but not today.
Now, don't get the newspaper in the egg yolk.
All right, Ma.
Want some toast? Peter, do you want some toast?
All right, Ma. It was Saturday. Big things always seem to happen on Saturdays. I ate breakfast and got up. I had the usual things to do, like mowing the lawn, for instance, but I skipped it that day. There wasn't any use mowing a lawn on a day like that. I went out remembering not to slam the door. It wasn't much, but it showed thoughtfulness. I went past the church and looked at the sign that was set diagonally in the corner so I could read from both streets. There it was in big letters, quoting from the papers. This is the day the world ends. Dr. Davidson scheduled a prayer meeting for the calculated time. It was a bright day. People were out walking or just standing looking at the sky. It was too early to look up.
Hey, Pete! Pete, here you are. Catch!
Here. Hey! Who showed you how to throw a football? Get this!
Hey, nice pass. Here you are, lateral.
I got it.
Here, throw me a long one, huh? I'll run out on that button hook.
No, look, I don't feel like it, not today.
What do we do? Oh, listen, the new issue of Popular Rocketry came in down at Grover's.
Yeah, I saw it.
Well, we could go down and see Howie.
All right.
Pete? Peter?
Hey, your mother wants you.
Yeah, what is it, Ma?
Now, don't go too far. I've got some things I want you to do.
What?
I want you to help me move some trash out of the basement and help me move some of the potted plants around in front.
Ma, what's the use of doing things like that on a day like today?
Never mind. Now, you come back by 11 o'clock, you hear?
No.
Oh, come on. Howie's probably down at Grover's. Hey, look at this high hurdle. I'll go right over the sign. Here I go. Olympic star Paul Smithfield.
He went up over the sign easily. Paul's on the track team in high school. I looked at the sign again as he went over the top. This is the day the world ends. They never said more than that, not in the newspapers or in the signs painted on the brick walls. They wanted it to hang in our minds, something we couldn't quite touch, but we knew was there. We walked along down Green Street toward Grover's.
Oh, what do you think of it?
What?
You know, today.
I don't know. What about you?
We got it coming.
Yeah, but will we get it?
I don't know. Hey, look. It's going to be nice and bright today.
Yeah, it is now.
Might cloud over.
Yeah, it won't matter. It'll split the sky when it comes.
Hey, you hear the new song? Some disc jockey wrote it. I love you, I love you, love you.
Hey, sounds awful.
Oh, listen. I love you, love you, love you, till the day the world ends. I love you, love you, love you, till my heartbreak mends. And a lot more guff like that.
You know, it seems awful. I mean, making a song on a thing like that, you'd think they'd have more respect.
Well, why shouldn't they cash in on it? How about that contest on TV? What will you do on the day the world ends? In 25 words or less.
You know, some people will do anything for a buck.
Yeah.
You think they'd have some, I don't know, some understanding of how important it is.
Well, they do. You should see the souvenir stands on Main Street. You know, pennants saying the end of the world, stuff like that.
That's disgusting.
Grover's has an end of the world Sunday. Joey Tripp had one last night. It was really the end.
Yeah, he's a pig.
Yeah, sure is. Boy, it was really something. With nuts on top.
You're listening to End as a World, tonight's attraction on X-1. Careful planning and sensible driving add up to an enjoyable vacation trip. There are a few tips from the National Safety Council that should help make your trip a pleasure instead of a tense, nerve-wracking time. Before you leave, have the car given a thorough checkup to be sure it will always respond properly to your careful control. Check the emergency equipment you'll need, such as a first aid kit, keys, permits, identification, flashlight, tire-changing equipment, and your unexpired driver's license. Plan your trip for frequent rest stops with a good night's sleep each night. And then on your trip, pay attention to the job at hand and don't daydream. Stop off the road to see the sights or read the map. Be prepared for winding and straight roads, level and hilly roads, and changing traffic patterns between urban and rural areas. Obey all speed limits, traffic signs, and signals, and keep your distance behind the driver ahead. This vacation is what you've been waiting for all year. Enjoy it with sensible driving. Now back to X-1 and End as a World.
We went on to find Howie. He's a little guy, but he can throw a football further and faster than anybody else on the team. Howie was carrying a model of a rocket ship, carbon dioxide powered.
Hey, let's see the model, Howie.
Doesn't work.
Well, what do we do?
I don't know. We could play Salugi.
No, we left the football over at Pete's.
Oh, might as well just sit down on the grass.
Okay.
Hey, I wonder if it'll really come.
Yeah, where will the president watch it from? He should have a good view from the White House.
No better than us right here.
What about Australia? Will they see it over there?
They'll see it all over.
Africa, too. And what about the Eskimos?
Doesn't matter whether they actually see it or not. It'll come to everyone at the same time.
Yeah, how about that? Everybody. Not just in this town, but all over. Wherever there are people and even where they're not.
You know what I keep thinking about?
What?
I keep thinking about the man who made the H-bomb. I bet he felt silly and spiteful blowing up an island. I mean, somebody might have wanted to live on it if he just left it there. You know?
Yeah, bet he'd feel pretty small with his old H-bomb after today. Pow.
My mother's over at the church praying.
What for?
She just said that's what she wanted to spend today doing, right up to the last minute.
You know, all the churches are holding prayer meetings.
Town board wanted to close up that carnival on Pearl Street. You know, the one with the cooch tent? They said it wasn't dignified for today.
They close it up?
Mm-mm. The manager said he had his license, and he didn't care if today was the day the world ended or not. He was putting on 5 shows right up till it happened.
Funny idea, those girls dancing and then, whoom, it happens. And nobody to look at them anymore.
I can't understand people. Shows and lawns and cleaning the trash out of the cellar on a day like this, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, people get used to doing certain things.
Yeah, but today?
Even today. Well, that's how people are, I guess. Just gotta keep on with what they're doing, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Now, we talked about it for a while, but we talked it out long ago. There was really nothing new we could say. Every once in a while, we'd look up at the sky, but it wasn't going to come until it got here. Finally, I went home for lunch.
Now, you sit still and eat your lunch.
Oh, Ma.
It'll happen without your help. It's going to be all right.
You think so?
I think so. I'll give you your allowance now.
Yeah, but Ma, it's only Saturday. I don't get my allowance.
Well, I'll give it to you today anyway. You might as well spend it this afternoon downtown.
Gee, thanks, Ma.
All right, I won't keep you over lunch. You can run uptown and watch it from there.
Okay, Ma. You gonna go?
Of course I'm not. Why should I get into that mob? I can watch it just as well from here.
Ma, sure she could. It wasn't the same. Everybody I knew was going to be there. I changed my shirt before I left. I took a rag and wiped the dust from my shoes. I wasn't trying to be fussy or dressed up or anything. I just thought I should do it. I walked uptown slow because there was lots of time to kill. There was shade and sun on the streets and a few big clouds in the sky. I never knew how slow a day could pass. I suppose I should have slept late in the morning and kept busy doing something. Well, this was worse than putting on a uniform and waiting till game time. At least there was a coach on the field to let you know what to do as you ran through the drill. I ran into Paul at the corner of Cross and Chestnut.
Hey, you nervous?
No. Why should I be?
You're not in suspense? Why don't we have some way of knowing for sure? Radio, maybe.
Oh, there's no radio. The calculations have been checked.
Yeah, but maybe there's something we forgot or don't know. A lot of things can go wrong.
Hi, fellas.
Well, hi,
Howie.
You want to go down to Grover's and get them molded?
I don't know.
Oh, we've still got lots of time. We won't miss anything.
We all went down and had malteds at Grover's. The television was on. They were showing a street in India with people looking up. They flashed all around to Italy, China, and Brazil. Except for their clothes, it wasn't much different from here. They were all looking up.
Well, let's get outside.
I haven't finished my malted.
What's the difference on a day like today, huh?
I want to finish my malted.
Outside, I noticed there was a slight overcast. The big billowing clouds had passed, but this was worse. I hoped that it would clear away in time, not that it really mattered.
Hey, it's a pretty big crowd for a Saturday, huh?
Well, this isn't a usual Saturday.
What time is it?
I don't know. You got to watch, Paul?
No. We can see the clock on the merchant's block from the corner. Come on.
Hey, it's Ginny Wexelberg. See her over there?
Hey, how'd you like to spend a day with her? That'll really make it a big day, huh?
Oh, you don't need that old Ginny Wexelberg to make this a big day. After today, a blind 15-year-old kid isn't going to seem so important.
After today, nothing's going to seem important, huh?
Well, there's the clock. We still got plenty of time.
We just walked around. A few other kids from school passed by, and we stopped. It was getting closer. The space between the minutes was getting longer and longer.
Hey, I'm hungry.
I want to go back and get a candy bar.
You're crazy. It's almost time.
I got a couple of minutes. Look.
Well, you just had them altered.
I don't know. I'm hungry. I mean, I got a right to eat a candy bar before it happens, don't I?
How can you think about food?
It's only 1 minute.
Well, all right. I just wanted to get one last candy bar, that's all.
You think we could see better if we went across the street?
Doesn't make any difference. It's going to be all over the world. There was still a minute to go, and I kept wondering if there'd been a miscalculation. Now we were all looking up. All over the world, people were looking up. It was quiet. You could hear them breathing. I sneaked a look across the street. Ginny Wexelberg was staring up, and she was crying. I kept wondering why a pretty girl like that should be crying. And then, just as I looked back at the sky, it happened. It came, the flash across the skies, a silver streak, the biggest vapor trail there ever was. It went from this side to that side in no time. It split the sky and was gone before the shockwave hit us. Nobody said anything. We stood there and shivered and straightened up after the rumbling sound passed.
You know what? It's going to go around the whole world.
Well, he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, he sure did. All the way to Mars and back. Safe and right on schedule. You realize that? He did it. He did it. The first trip to Mars. He's back. He's safe. The factory whistles down by the river started blowing. The bells of the Baptist, the Congregationalists, and the Roman Catholic Church were ringing. We were all jumping up and down, shouting, screaming, laughing as the vapor trail slowly faded into the overcast. I grabbed a hold of somebody next to me, and all of a sudden I realized it was Judy Wexelberg, and she kissed me, and I kissed her back. And we yelled louder than all the factory whistles. We had a right. It was just like the paper said. This was the day the world ended and the universe began.
This is Fred Collins, and I'll be back with a word about X-1 in a moment.
Hi, this is Walter O'Keefe. You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun, and maybe that's true, but there is something new under the moon, and that's Nightline. In Nightline, we think we found the way to use the intimacy as well as the lightning-fast maneuverability of radio in an hour-and-a-half package of high-voltage, different entertainment. We found the way to make the airwaves your magic carpet to wherever big things are happening. Anywhere in the country, for that matter, anywhere in the world. Now, let's say that your favorite comedian is performing at a Las Vegas nightclub. He's packing them in, and you've really got to have connections to get a table. Well, Nightline is that connection, and your radio is your ringside table. More things than you'd believe are happening in the so-called still of the night, and Nightline is your line to exciting entertainment after dark. My feeling is Nightline marks a new era in nighttime entertainment. Tune us in tonight over most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features William Morrison's novelette, The Sly Bunger Hop. To Colmer, it was the chance of a lifetime. He could hear opportunity knock. But where in all creation was the door it knocked upon? Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you End as a World, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by F.L. Wallace and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Jack Grimes as Pete, Larry Robinson as Paul, Peter Fernandez as Howie, and Alice Yorman as the mother. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production. Next week on X-1, another exciting story from the pages of Galaxy. The Scapegoat by Richard Maples. If you saw a big teenage young bully beating up a helpless old man on the street, what would you do? Try to stop it? Or save your own neck by just walking away?
Well, this is the story of a man who did stop it. Of a newspaper reporter who not only rescued the old man, but took him home, hoping to develop a good angle for the newspaper series he was writing on juvenile delinquency. The Scapegoat tells of what happened then, of the terrible threat posed by this seemingly harmless old man to the unsuspecting reporter and his family. Be sure to hear it next week on X-1. Wondering what the weather will be like tomorrow night? Will it be cool? Will it be hot? Will it rain or not? Well, don't give it another thought, because NBC's Monitor has a weatherproof evening plan for you with excursions to 3 world-famous underground scenic spots. You'll go roving with Monitor on a 2.5-mile trip through Marble Cave in Missouri. You'll listen to the music of a stalactite organ in Luray Caverns, Virginia. And you'll visit the historic catacombs of Rome. Between trips underground, you'll hear another merry report on his vacation tour of Europe by comedian Jonathan Winters. And you'll rub elbows with international celebrities at a unique party in Toots Shor's famous restaurant in New York. There'll be music and news, too. In fact, there'll be something for everybody on Monitor. So start your weekend right with Monitor Friday night, and stay with Monitor all weekend long.
Nightline takes you to wherever exciting, interesting, and entertaining things are happening. Tonight, over most of these same NBC stations.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
Minus 1.
Tonight, The Scapegoat by Richard Maples. But first, hear this.
When the ice is smooth and the sky is blue and the skaters' waltz is played for two.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, X-1 and The Scapegoat.
The old guy didn't have a chance. All he could do was shield his head with his limp arms and moan, while this other fellow, a husky young 6-footer, gave him a vicious, cold-blooded beating. Hey, cut it out! You, cut it out beating up an old man like that! I said cut it out! Now, let go of him. Well, what have you got to say for yourself before I belt you as hard as you hit the old man here? Well, hey, you, wait! Wait, you no-good hoodlum! Hey, you all right, Pop? Are you okay? What happened? Was he trying to rob you or something? Look, you'll be all right now. You'll be okay. You're lucky I came along then. No cops anywhere. Okay, come on, old-timer. Up on your feet. You're going home with me. I suppose it seems callous to think of it, but this old man was just what I'd been looking for. A brutal assault and a helpless old man, and I was the hero, just what I needed. You see, I'd just come from a meeting with the city fathers and the commissioner of the police department. And old man Jones, my publisher, had promptly yanked the rug out from under me and chickened. I'd written the articles panning the city's handling of the juvenile delinquency problem because Jones had to be in his bonnet to be the mayor. Now, when the heat was on, he weaseled out. We had a few words, Jones and I quit. But now I had him, an eyewitness story, no cops anywhere, and a young bruiser beating up a defenseless old man. I figured I'd take him home, let my wife fix him up, keep him around the house until the story broke.
Ed, what's the idea? Ed!
All right, take it easy, honey. It's all right. This old guy just needs some patching up, that's all. Come on, old-timer.
Oh, but he looks awful. Who is he? What is blood in his...
Now, come on. Help me get him inside.
He's cold. His wrist is cold.
Yeah, shock, I think. Come on, in with him. All right, now, let him down on the chair. There you are, Pop.
Were you in an accident?
No, some hoodlum was beating him up. I chased him off.
Oh, that's awful. Did you call the police?
There weren't any police there. I'm going to crack this whole situation wide open with this story.
Hey, Mom! Hey! Wow! Never mind. Go into the bathroom and bring out some towels. Ed, we'll need some bandages.
Yeah, we'd better get a blanket around him.
A blanket? It's 90 degrees.
It's for shock, son.
Go ahead, Tommy. Okay, Mom. Ed, I think he's coming to now. He's opening his eyes.
No, you're all right, old-timer. You're all right.
Well, isn't this cozy?
What's your name?
Ash.
Ash. And first name?
That's it.
Oh, then what's your last name?
I don't know.
All right. Take it easy. What happened? Who was that hoodlum? Did you ever see him before?
I don't remember.
Well, why was he hitting him?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You missing any money?
I'm not sure.
Well, I suppose I scared him off before he could rob you.
Yes. Oh, yes, you rescued me, didn't you? I'm really very grateful.
Don't try to talk too much now. You'll feel better after you've had something to eat.
Ed, we have nothing in the house. We were just going to have a salad.
Well, salad's all right.
Well, Ed, I think maybe we'd better get Mr. Ash to a hospital or to his house or something.
Oh, look, Nana, I told you I want him
Ed,
here.
please. Come inside.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Come inside.
Okay. You just sit right here, Mr. Ash. I'll be right back. I just want
Yes, I'll be all right now.
Nan, what's the matter with you?
Get rid of him. What? Get him out of here.
Well, why?
He gives me the willies.
Oh, no, it's just the heat.
Well, you must know he leered at me.
Oh, Nan, he's an old man. He's just been beat up and in shock.
Ed, please.
Oh, no. I've got to keep him here. He's my proof. I'll write a story that'll rip the administration wide open, and Jones can't pull it out because I've got the proof right here, and I was the eyewitness.
But, Ed,
No.
please.
He stays here, and that's all there is to it.
You're listening to The Scapegoat, tonight's attraction on X-1. Once, a tall and beautiful tree stood in the forest. It had been there for 200 or 300 years. In the course of that time, wind shook it and lightning struck near it. A hurricane bent it once until its top was nearly at the ground. But none of the ferocious assaults could fell that tall, proud tree. But then one day, the most spindly-legged, pot-bellied, adenoidal, open-mouthed creature that the forest had ever seen sat down in the cool shade of that tree. This was what was called a man, and he wanted to smoke what is called a cigar. He did. And he threw his match among the pine needles, and when he had smoked the cigar, he threw that away, too, and went off, because somewhere down by the lake there was waiting for him what is called a woman. And he had the hope that maybe she didn't feel like nagging anymore. Before nightfall, that tree that had withstood all those assaults was ashes, and thousands of other trees in that forest were, too. The man is still living. If you know any of his species,
You might tell him that trees don't have Adam's apples and shrill voices. Trees are beautiful, and men ought to be careful with matches. Now back to X-1 and the Scapegoat.
The old man seemed to recover pretty quickly. I suppose mostly because I'd gotten there in time. As a matter of fact, he began to talk, and he kept it up through the whole meal. And it was the craziest story you ever heard. He insisted he'd come from another world outside our solar system, where people existed in a kind of liquid state, bouncing about for the most part like large water-filled bladders. They were, however, capable of taking almost any shape their superior minds willed. They could flatten and drift about on the water, or they could inflate and rise in the air.
As a matter of fact, they can even become facsimiles of other living things, taking on the shape and texture and coloration, a capability which adds greatly in their main function of traveling as missionaries of goodness among the peoples of the galaxy.
Goodness, huh?
Oh, yes. They're perfect. As perfect as angels.
All right. I've had enough. I asked for it.
Nan, where are you going? Don't rush off.
I guess I know when I'm being kidded. Very funny, Mr. Ash.
But I'm not kidding.
Don't tell me that you're a missionary to Earth.
Oh, no, I'm here because I was banished.
Oh, sort of a fallen angel.
Exactly.
Look, Ash, it's too hot for games. If you don't want to explain what happened this afternoon, that's your privilege. But as you know, this story means a lot to me. And I did stick my neck out for you.
One moment, my boy. Let me finish. You see, I'm a throwback.
A what?
A throwback, an atavism. They tried to reform me, but there was something rather fundamental about me, something rather evil. Then, of course, as a last resort, they put me into one of the machines, and they threw the switch.
Oh, sure. They killed you. Look, I'm not in the mood for shaggy dog stories.
They didn't kill me, exactly. It was sort of like water being scraped over the edge of a sharp rock. When I came to, I was drifting through space. And then, of course, much later, I landed on Earth. Oh, I've had many shapes through the years. Mainly people who died. I find that's much more convenient.
Yeah. Well, look, if you'll excuse me, I have to make a telephone call. I'll just go into the other room.
I dare say you want to call the hospital. I'm not psychotic, really.
I've got iced coffee.
Ah, yes, you're just in time, Mrs. Potter. I think perhaps I'd better prove my story if you'll wait just a moment. You see, it's done by the generation of a high electrostatic field. Something like this. If you'll notice, my face begins to lose definition. It moves as if it had a life of its own. Now what?
Stop it.
Well, that looks considerably younger, doesn't it?
30 years younger. 30 years just dropped away like... Listen, this story will set the whole country on its ear, with my byline on it.
Oh, Ed, don't let him take you in. It's a trick. It's mass hypnotism or something.
I saw it right here. So did you. I'll have an exclusive. Life will have to come to me for the story. I've got to admit that I could share something of Anne's point of view. He wasn't really very pleasant. As a matter of fact, he had what you call colossal gall. After supper, he came right down to cases.
Naturally, if I'm to stay here and keep my identity secret until you can arrange for an exclusive story, I will need a little pocket money.
How much?
How much you got?
Well, I don't know. I got about $22, and payday isn't until Thursday.
Well, how about your bank account?
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Well, we'll see what we can arrange later. I am a little tired, though. I think it's about time to go to bed. I noticed a rather comfortable bed in here. Well, I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. And thank you again for rescuing me.
And that's our bedroom.
I know.
Well, you go right in there and tell him that he can't
Listen.
sleep.
He locked the door.
Oh, Ed, do something.
All right. You get some sheets from the linen closet, and I'll make up the couch. Next day, I made careful inquiries, started to feel around for contacts on live at the AP, someplace to really break the story big. About 5 in the afternoon, Jones, the publisher, called me into his office.
Sit down, Ed. I've got some good news.
Now, look, Mr. Jones, ever since you left me out on a limb at the mayor's
Oh,
conference,
now,
I
let's not worry about that, Ed. We've got something very interesting going for us now that changes everything. They've arrested a gang of kids for shoplifting. Well, one of them is Tommy, your son.
What? Arrested Tommy?
Wait, Ed, don't go off half-cocked. It's a break, don't you see? You can cover delinquency with the lid off now. You'll be riding as a parent in the same boat with other parents. Hey, wait a minute. Where are you going?
At the police station, I had the distinct feeling they'd been waiting for me.
Well, Mr. Potter, we meet under unfortunate circumstances.
Can the phony sympathy, Thompson. Just let me see my boy.
We'd better have a little talk first about all those articles you're writing about the police force.
I've got no talking to do. This is a lousy frame-up against me and the paper. Now, you get my son out here and do it fast.
You don't understand, Mr. Potter. Your son is in trouble. He's been identified as leading a gang of kids who spent most of the morning shoplifting in the stores all over town.
That's nonsense. How could my boy do anything like that? He's only 12. Who identified him anyway?
The shopkeepers and the other members of the gang. You can see him, Mr. Potter, but I still think we'll want to have our little talk.
Son, what's this all about?
It was Ash.
Ash,
Yes, I told him about the gang.
what the heck are you talking about?
Some of the fellas got together and built a hut for a clubhouse.
What does the gang do?
Oh, different things. One of the fellas is a 22, and we hunt rats, and
Well, go ahead. What is it?
we smoke.
Oh. And what else?
That's all, honest.
What about shoplifting?
No, that was Ash. He wanted me to talk the gang into shoplifting, but I wouldn't. Then he changed himself to look like me and talked the fellas into it when I wasn't around. I only knew about it because I ran into them after they'd robbed their store.
Who is this Ash he keeps talking about?
Why, he's a man. Oh, never mind. Listen, the boy's beside himself because of all he's been through. Will you let me take him home with me?
Of course, Mr. Potter, but the charges still hold. Don't forget to stop in and have our little talk before you report back to juvenile court.
I called the house, and Ash answered the phone.
I'm glad you called, Ed. I'm out of cash, you know. I need a small loan.
Now, listen, you. The police have picked up Tommy. He's been charged with the shoplifting you did today.
Oh, now I'm sorry about that. You see, there's a certain cultural difference between you and me. I didn't understand.
You're going to help me get him out, you hear? You're going to tell everybody the truth.
Well, of course. Of course I will.
Now, listen. I'm coming home. Nan will be back from her mother's any minute. Don't you tell her about this, you hear?
Well, of course I won't. I'll be waiting right here.
I suppose I was a fool, but I still wanted that story. I wanted it so bad I could taste it. The exclusive account of an extraterrestrial being. Driving home, I had it all figured out. I'd bring Ash down to the police station. He'd tell the story, go through his changing act to convince him, and spring Tommy. I'd have my story already filed and beat everybody. In the meantime, I just hoped Nan wouldn't spoil everything alone with it. Alone with it. And then suddenly I let my foot come down on the accelerator like it was made out of lead. I pulled the car to a stop and sprinted up the driveway. Nan! Nan, where are you? They were both moving. Nan stood in the far corner with her back against the wall. Her shoulders were scratched and her lip cut. She held a heavy bookend, poised to strike at Ash, who was in front of her, moving stealthily forward. He turned as I came in, and I froze in amazement. I couldn't recognize him. And then, all at once, I realized I was looking at the spitting image of myself.
Ed, I knew it wasn't you. I knew it wasn't you.
Well, if you'll both excuse me, come back here. I'll get you. I'll get you. I bolted through the window and circled the house. I spotted him rushing down the street, and I caught him around the corner at the same spot where I'd first seen him. Let go of me! You've got this coming to you! You've got this coming to you! slugged him. Yet I knew it was useless the instant the blow landed. He felt just like sponge rubber, yet I kept hitting him. I didn't bother listening to his cries, even after he changed himself back to an old man. And then suddenly I felt a hand grab my shoulder and whirl me around, and a fist exploded in my eye.
What's the matter with you? What do you think you're doing, beating up an old man like that? You no good hood. Am I out of...
I searched desperately for an explanation. And then, abruptly, without having said a word, I reeled and stumbled down the street. Home to Nan.
Fred Collins again, and I'll have another word for you about X-1 in a moment.
Hi, this is Walter O'Keefe. You know, they say there's nothing new under the sun, and maybe that's true. But there is something new under the moon, and that's Nightline. In Nightline, we think we found the way to use the intimacy as well as the lightning-fast maneuverability of radio in an hour-and-a-half package of high-voltage, different entertainment. We found the way to make the airwaves your magic carpet to wherever big things are happening. Anywhere in the country, for that matter, anywhere in the world. Now, let's say that your favorite comedian is performing at a Las Vegas nightclub. He's packing them in, and you've really got to have connections to get a table. Well, Nightline is that connection, and your radio is your ringside table. More things than you'd believe are happening in the so-called still of the night, and Nightline is your line to exciting entertainment after dark. My feeling is Nightline marks a new era in nighttime entertainment. Tune us in every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you'll hear what I mean.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Shadow World by Clifford D. Simak. Of all the upsetting phenomena, the most alarming was this. I had a little shadow that went in and out with me. It's in Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Scapegoat, written by Richard Maples and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Carl Weber as Ed, Wendell Holmes as the changeable Mr. Ash, Jane Amar as Nan, Bobby Alford as Tommy, Guy Rep as Mr. Jones, and Roger DeCoven as Thompson. This is Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
There is one thing that Jerry and Joan may be quite sure of on the magic island of Euclidia. No matter what part of this artificial island in the South Pacific they visit, they're going to get action of some kind. When Captain Bradford was put to sleep by a ray gun in their prison cells, and Mrs. Gregory offered to remain with the captain until he recovered, it was decided that Jerry and Joan should go alone on a tour of as much of the island as they were allowed to reach. Their friend, the Euclidean girl submarine commander, has just left them in a tiny storage closet on the 9th level below the surface. And, as there is no echo heard, Jerry and Joan feel safe in talking the situation over.
Oh, all right, then. All right. I'm right.
Very well, Jerry. You are correct.
I said that girl submarine commander was a friend of ours, didn't I?
You did?
And she just now helped us out a lot, didn't she?
How?
By telling us we had 3 days to plan what we were going to do about escaping from this place.
Her assistance would have been more valuable had she offered a plan of escape.
Oh, sure. And she could have been a real help if she had dug up a magic carpet and had us all back in Hollywood in 10 minutes. Well, you ought to be blamed grateful for what she did tell us. Why, in 3 days we can do a whole lot. And we'd better start right now.
Do you have a plan?
Yeah. Keep moving. Standing still's no good.
Then let us go at once.
Have you got any idea what the directions are down here?
No, Jerry.
Sections of the island may be revolved, and as you know, the entire island has been moved. It is quite impossible to determine any direction.
Okay, Joan. We'll just get out in the hall and start.
We may speak freely without fear of detection as long as our voices remain normal in tone.
But when they get that funny hollow sound, Euclideans are listening to us, huh?
That is right.
Then let's remember that, and when our voices start jumping back at us out of the walls, quit talking.
This is not the door through which we entered this room.
Huh? Not the same door?
No. We entered through that door.
Then where does... Hey, this room has a door on every wall.
There are many rooms with a door in each wall. We must use care in our choice of a corridor through which to continue our search.
Yeah, just a little harder than finding a camel in a needle. Every one of these blame halls look just alike, and you know it. They're all shining steel tunnels, so we haven't got any choice. But if you say this is a different door from the one we came in, then let's go this way.
We may as well. To retrace our former course would only take us back to the cells occupied by Mother and the Captain.
Precisely.
Jerry Hall. You do not like that word. Why do you use it?
Well, just to get your goat.
How many times must I remind you that I have no goat?
Never mind flying off the handle every time I open my mouth. Let's get busy.
I have no idea where this will lead us.
Well, just so we go someplace and learn something. There's so much I don't know about this island that it makes no difference where I start in learning. Hey, ouch!
Jerry, did you hurt yourself?
No, I didn't hurt myself, but this whatever it is here sure didn't do me any good.
I can see nothing there. It must be one of the invisible steel doors.
Invisible steel?
I should have expressed myself differently. The door is actually so perfectly transparent that it is impossible to detect its presence with the eye. Hence, it is called invisible.
You mean there's a steel door right here in front of me?
Feel it with your hand.
Well, golly whiskers. That stuff is clearer than glass. I can see the whole corridor through it, and it's still as strong as steel.
Euclidia is a place of wonders to those who are not accustomed to it.
You've been here 14 years, and you get plenty of surprises, I notice.
I was not attempting to appear superior, Jerry.
Okay, just so you don't. Remember what I told you. The higher they are, the harder they fall.
Who will fall from what?
Oh, skip it. And let's get around the other side of this invisible door and see what goes on there. Oh, all these blame hallways look just alike to me.
We do not know where we are going.
Nope, but we're on our way.
Why are you walking with your arm out before you?
Oh, so if I meet another of those funny steel doors, I'll bump my hand instead of my nose.
This is most unusual, Jerry.
Huh? What is?
That we should be allowed to walk around so freely in these lower corridors. Some of the most carefully guarded secrets on the island are contained in these lower levels.
Well, I sure haven't seen anything yet that I'd run home and tell about.
Perhaps we haven't tried the proper doors.
Well, we'll keep on trying them until somebody stops us. And here's where we try another one. Right now.
You are very careless in your method of striking these doors.
They won't bite, will they?
Some of them are electrified.
Hey, fine time to tell me that, after letting me open two of them with my bare hands. Well, what do you do with these things?
I would suggest that you press against the door with your shoe.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It does not open.
I discovered that for myself.
This door you must pull toward yourself. The small opening near the bottom will suffice. Use the toe of your shoe.
You do see things at that, don't you?
On Euclidia, our power of
I know. But let's go on hunting places to learn things. Hey, Joan, did you notice that?
While the door was open, the communication channels were active.
Yeah, and somebody heard what we said.
But we said nothing while the door was open.
Then somebody heard nothing, which is swell. But how about that echoing noise? Doesn't that mean the opening of that door was registered on some of their instruments?
Presumably. But it may be some time before the graphs are calibrated and readings noted. The scientists are occupied otherwise. I think our progress is not being followed.
Well, let's go some more then, and I hope you're right.
We should now be nearing the center of the island.
Center? It can't be. This thing is 1,000 feet across, isn't it?
The main portion is 600, roughly. Actually, the diameter of the central section is exactly 1/10 of a nautical mile, or 608 feet.
Well, I know we haven't walked any 300 feet since we left the confinement cells.
Agreed. However, I think the cells are not on the extreme outer ring of the island. Furthermore, the narrowing curvature of these walls would indicate our progress toward the center.
Looks like you're right. But what do we find when we hit the center?
The central control elevator is the axis of Euclidia.
Well, then maybe we can get up in that elevator shaft and see what's going on in some of the other levels.
It will not be so simple, I think. While I am not familiar with this level, it is only logical to suppose that we will find various chambers arranged around the elevator shaft.
And maybe somebody in those chambers won't like the idea of our touring around.
Precisely. Oh, undoubtedly.
Well, if we're near the center, we'll soon find out, because here comes another door.
Jerry, the door is not coming.
Well, we're coming to the door. What's the difference?
A great deal. If the door were moving toward us...
All right. I'm sorry I started it, but here is the door.
We should proceed with more than usual care now.
I know it. But how am I going to do anything about it?
The door and walls will be soundproofed. It would do no good to listen at the door.
Well, that's what I was afraid of.
Yet I fear that something we will regret will follow the opening of that door.
What, for instance?
I do not know.
Sure, you're a help.
If you were clever enough to ridicule me, you would not need my help.
Well, you win. Let's go on in.
But we may be in danger.
We are in that anyhow. And we've got to do everything we can to get your mother and Tex and ourselves out of this. Now, you stand over to one side, and if any ray guns or tricks are waiting to jump out at us, it won't hit both of us, and you can run back to the others.
I would not run away and leave you, Jerry.
You'd better, but maybe nothing will happen. Here I go. Hey, Joan, look at that.
I have not seen him for years. I had forgotten he existed. I think we may safely stand and watch him for a moment.
Well, keep your voice down. The old guy will hear you.
But he is quite deaf.
Deaf?
Yes, deaf.
You don't mean deaf, do you?
I said deaf, and I mean deaf. Totally lacking in the sense of hearing.
Oh, I know what deaf means, all right. But I don't see how he could be deaf.
You do not know that man, do you, Jerry?
Never saw the funny old guy before.
Then you are in no position to judge as to whether or not he is deaf.
Look, Joan, that old guy is tapping on glasses of water with that little steel rod, isn't he?
He is?
Well, I've seen him do things like that on the stage, and they were always making noises or playing tunes with those glasses.
This old man is doing much the same thing. He is making musical notes.
Just what I thought. And he acts like he was pretty busy at it, too. Now watch when he hits that glass and then listens till the last little note of sound is gone.
If you can see and understand what he is doing, why must you question his ability to do it?
Because if he's deaf, he can't hear what he's doing. And no matter what note he hits or what noises he makes, he wouldn't know anything about it.
He is listening to the vibrations.
Vibrations?
Yes. He has trained his sense of touch to such perfection that he will instantly recognize several thousands of notes of the audible scale.
Thousands of notes? What are you talking about? Well, there aren't even hundreds of notes, let alone thousands.
On Euclidia, we have developed our sense of hearing far beyond your worldly knowledge, and we easily hear sounds entirely beyond the range of your ears. Sounds to which even your most delicate detection and recording apparatus will not respond.
Golly, Whiskers, you mean we can only hear half of what's going on around us?
You do not hear 1/100th of the sound waves beating at your ears.
Well, maybe not, but I know that I hear plenty. Hey, Joan, that note he just struck. I can't stop hearing it.
Jerry, are you hearing a musical note?
Sure I am. It sounds funny. No, it's not funny. It hurts. It hurts my ear, makes my head ache.
Step back and close the door at once. Hurry, Jerry.
What for?
Do as I tell you at once. Now, do you hear that note?
Well, no. Well, I guess I don't. But my head sure feels funny.
That was your Keystone Note.
My what?
Your Keystone Note. That note, steadily played or beaten within your hearing, would soon make you deaf or worse.
Make me deaf? What about you?
I did not hear it.
You didn't hear the sound when he hit that glass?
I heard the common vibrant note of the accepted musical scale, but the sustained note, the constant sound which continued to beat against your inner ear, that was not keyed to my hearing, hence it did not bother me.
You mean that old guy's experimenting with those notes to find out which one bothers people? And which ones they'd keep on hearing until it would drive them crazy?
Exactly. Even in your poor scientific world, you have heard of a musical note shattering a glass or even shaking a small building, have you not?
Well, sure.
When that man's experiments are completed, he will be able to sound a note which will destroy a large building, a bridge or a tunnel. One note, and a battleship will crumple as easily as a piece of paper. Another note, and an aeroplane high in the air will disintegrate. The note will strike the keynote of the motor. The synchronization will be destroyed, and the machine will shake itself to pieces in a matter of seconds.
Golly, Whiskers. Why, if they could really do that, these crazy scientists could capture the whole world without hurting anyone. And they wouldn't need one single gun or a weapon of any kind.
Precisely, Jerry. You have seen only one of the many devices being made ready for G47's conquest of the world. Yet that one alone should convince you of the futility of ever escaping from this island and coming back to take it over.
Well, it don't look so good. I'll say that.
What would you do if you heard one single musical note that would destroy the largest building in the world? There wouldn't be much you could do against such a threat as that. And that's the strange Euclidean power which Jerry and Joan have just seen and heard. Down on the 9th level, below the surface of the island, Jerry and Joan have been scouting around trying to find a possible avenue of escape, while Joan's mother has been taking care of the unconscious Captain Bradford. The young couple are just outside the door of a small laboratory where they have seen the actual experiments with the musical notes which are to control the world if the Euclidean plan works out. Jerry and Joan don't seem any too happy about it.
My golly whiskers, Joan. That's the weirdest thing I ever heard of.
It is not entirely pleasant, is it, Jerry?
Pleasant? It's got my goat.
But, Jerry, you...
And don't tell me I haven't got a goat. I have, and it's been got.
Though you need a lesson in English, I think we will not take time for it now.
I know we won't. Let's get on back to Tex and your mother and tell them what we found. You know, if G47 and the rest of these scientists can chase us around with a noise that is going to make battleships fall to pieces, Tex ought to know it right away.
What will Captain Bradford be able to do?
Well, I don't know, but we can't ask him here. Come on.
But we came that way, Jerry.
No, we didn't. This is the way we came.
I am sure you are wrong, Jerry.
How are you so sure?
Do you not remember that I called your attention to the angle of the corridor narrowing as we approached this end?
Yeah, I remember that all right. But it gets narrower down this way, too.
Oh, yes, so it does.
Then you don't know which way we're going.
I must admit that I do not.
Oh, neither do I. But I've got a hunch it's down this way.
We may as well go this way as any other.
Now, what do we do?
Doors. Doors all around us.
I know we never passed that many doors all in one bunch.
Remember that sections of this island may be rotated. If the corridor we traversed before was north and south, it is quite possibly running east and west now.
That's why this blame island makes me tired. Nothing stands still long enough for you to figure it out. Who ever heard of a tunnel running all over the place? Fine thing, that is. Wouldn't some of our railroad engineers back home get a surprise to find their tunnels turned around? Boy, that would be something, wouldn't it? Imagine starting through a tunnel in Canada, Rocky Mountains, and coming out in Mexico.
That is ridiculous, beside the problem, none of our concern, and impossible.
Oh, you don't like it much?
I do not.
Then I'll put the tunnel back where it belongs and we'll walk some more.
We will soon have to make a choice of doors, Jerry.
Well, I like that one over there. It's already open.
It was not open a moment ago.
Well, it is now.
Then someone must be in there.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's use one we have to open ourselves. It won't seem quite so much like a trap.
That looks similar to the door we came through.
Okay, if you say so. Let's go.
Jerry, do not move. That door is opening also.
Yeah, I see it is. This thing is beginning to get spooky.
I think we may safely use any of these doors.
But even if they keep opening up like this?
Yes. I have seen doors like these open on the other levels. They are operated by the sound of our voices directed toward them. I am sure we will find every opening in this chamber guarded by a voice-controlled door.
Well, how about telling one of them to go shut again? Gee whiz.
Jerry, the door closed when you looked at it and used the word shut.
Well, I thought that too. But that doesn't make sense. How could a door close on a certain word?
This is the level on which all sound control devices are put into actual use.
I thought that was on the 5th level, near the chemical laboratory. Don't you remember that we found all that soundproof paint up there before we escaped from the island before?
Yes, Jerry. That is where the chemicals for sound control are compounded. Paints, oils, gases, and solutions. But on this level, mechanical sounds are developed, such as the musical notes we saw the old man making with the glasses containing water.
Okay, if you say so. Let's work it again. Now, I'll look right straight at that door over there.
That is the one you tried accidentally before. I would suggest you choose another for this experiment.
Well, you know these self-starting doors better than I do. I'll take that one over there. Look right straight at it and tell it to open.
Jerry, it is opening.
Then you're all wrong. I hadn't told it to.
Do not lose your head, Jerry. Remember what G47 told you. There is no magic here. Euclidia is a land of fact. You used the word open when you spoke.
Golly. Hey, maybe you're right. Well, I'll try the same door on the word shut.
You see?
Yeah, I see. It's about all I can stand.
Which door do you think we should go through?
Oh, that one that stays shut over there. Let's see if we can open it by talking. Hey, there it goes.
You used the word open.
Well, let's get through it before it changes its mind.
We are entering another chamber such as that
We
one.
might as well be on a merry-go-round.
What is a merry-go-round?
Oh, I'm too busy to tell you now, but it goes around and around and you don't get any place. Now, let's see if we have to turn around and talk straight at that door or if it can keep our backs to it.
I think the voice must be directed.
Well, we'll see. Shut. Go on. Shut. No good.
I will try looking directly at the door. Shut.
Joan, if we ever get off this island, I'm going to write a book about it.
I will help you.
Yeah, but first, how about a little help finding those jail cells we were in?
I am anxious to see Mother and the captain.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather be locked up with them than running around here loose by ourselves.
Are you afraid, Jerry?
No, but I could be mighty easy. Hey, where did that come from?
Another door closed.
Well, let's open one. Open. Open. Open.
You must direct your voice at the door.
I did. Well, I'll try another one. This one right here. Open. Open. Hey, open.
That is most unusual.
Yeah, it's also not so good. Maybe I can open one by hand.
Oh, Jerry, I do not like this.
Oh, steady, Joan. It may be all right. I'll try another one.
Oh, Jerry, we are prisoners in this room. All the doors are closed against us.
No, it looks that way, Joan. But we'll have to keep trying.
I knew where they were. I would still feel that they'd been gone far too long. After all, they're only youngsters, Tex, and we're responsible for them.
I know that, Pat, and I can understand how you feel, but the question is, would we be helping them by starting out to look for them?
And how could we be doing anything else?
We haven't the least idea where they are or where we are. And if we go out looking for them and miss them, what are they going to think when we aren't here when they get back?
Yes, I suppose you're right, Tex. But you're not able to start out walking just after recovering from that sleep-producing ray? But I can't sit here much longer.
Well, I suppose we'll help them just as much by moving as by sitting still. They're no more afraid of this place than we are. Let's go, Pat.
Oh, are you sure you're equal to it, dear?
I'm equal to anything when you're concerned, Pat.
You always have been. And I haven't been very appreciative lately. But one of these days, when this is all over...
I know, Pat, and don't worry about that now. The most important thing is to find those kids and get ourselves organized around here.
You're quite sure it won't be too much for you?
Oh, I'm all right. That ray gun didn't do anything but put me to sleep. Maybe a little dopey for a while, but if you do the thinking, I can at least tag along behind you.
Have you any idea where we are?
Not the slightest. Joan said she thought we were on the 9th level. But as to what side of the island or where we go from here, I can't even make a good guess.
Well, at least we know we can find the elevator if we return the same way we were brought in here.
Yeah, if we can remember how we came. Now, if we can open this door without getting put to sleep again.
Jerry and Joan went out without trouble. Joan's theory was that the ray gun had been set to fire only one shot when the door was opened, predicated on the belief that one shot would discourage any further attempts to leave.
Well, let's hope she was right. How about that water?
Well, the corridor was dry when they left.
Okay, then here goes. Well, nothing happens. Here we go.
It isn't going to be very easy to find our way. These walls and doors look exactly alike in every direction.
Yes, and they're all made of that transparent steel, with us on the wrong side of them to see anything.
And most likely every move we make is being watched and every word overheard.
I don't think so. Joan said she was sure G47 and all his men were busy trying to figure out how to move this island without disturbing the surface of the water so much.
And I suppose her judgment is better than ours where this mad place is concerned.
Yeah, it should be. Well, now where do we go?
Probably doesn't make much difference. I imagine we'll have to continue looking everywhere until we find them.
Well, this door looks as good as any other.
Well, shouldn't you listen before you open it?
Wouldn't do any good. They're soundproof.
No matter where we are on this island, the story is always the same. No chance to protect ourselves. Just stumble along blindly, trusting to luck.
Seems to be about all we can do, all right. We might as well get at it.
Now we are in a quandary.
We sure are. A six-sided room with 6 doors leading out of it. Well, we can't say we didn't have any choice here.
Let's just take the first one and see what happens.
Whatever you say, Pat. No good. That one won't open.
Then there must be something in there we're not supposed to see.
And we won't see it. Well, I'll try the next one.
It looks as if we've located a series of rooms which must contain something very valuable.
They sure keep it a secret, whatever it is. Well, now let's see. We came in that door. We've tried these 2. That leaves 3 over there. Suppose you take one of them, Pat. That'll save time.
All right. Oh, I can't move this one.
Same trouble over here. Well, that leaves only 1.
Oh, I wonder if we should try this last door.
Why not?
Oh, I'm beginning to feel terribly nervous, Tex. We've been left alone so long that it just doesn't seem reasonable. After all, we are prisoners here, and G47 must know we'll be making every effort to escape.
Yes, he's also got a pretty good idea that we're not going to get very far with our efforts. Might as well get it over with, Pat. We're prisoners, as you say. We wouldn't be in any worse fix if we had company, even the company of our captors. Here goes.
Well, we'll just have to go out the way we came, and we've only wasted our time in this room.
Right, let's get out of here.
Tex, we're locked in here.
No, we're not. These doors all look alike. Must have been another one we used. Yeah, this will be the one. I remember now. We went all the way around the room. That's funny. I know it was one of these 2 doors.
Wait, what is this one?
Now, don't get excited, Pat. We'll find the right door in just a minute.
Oh, I'm not so sure, Tex. We've tried them all. We're locked in, Tex, and we can't get out.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice. Today, in the underground caverns believed to be the home of the moon creatures, Superman and Professor Twiddle are amazed to see hundreds of yellow eyes winking at them in the inky darkness. We'll join the Man of Steel in a moment. But right now, let's stand by for a word from Dan McCullough.
You know, gang, around our neighborhood, the kids are really turning on the steam these days. They're racing like anything to see who'll be the first to collect all 18 comic buttons. You know, the swell prizes all the gang's collecting from packages of Kellogg's Pep. Of course, I don't know yet who that fellow or girl will be, but I do know someone's going to be mighty proud to sport all those Pep comic buttons on his jacket or dress or cap. They're so doggone smart-looking. Real lifelike pictures of your favorite comic strip characters done up in full comic strip colors, too, on gleaming white enameled metal buttons that you'll have and wear for a long time. And think of the fun you'll have rounding out your collection and swapping duplicates with your pals. There'll be lots more fun, too, because I'm going to have some exciting news for you pretty soon, so don't miss out. Better remind Mom to get you some more of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can finish up your collection of these exciting comic buttons. You don't send in any money, not even a box top, and you can't buy them anywhere. But there's an exclusive prize, a bright-colored comic button in every package of P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
When Poco, the little fat man who speaks in rhyme, mysteriously disappeared from the radar rocket, Superman, Jimmy Olsen, and Professor Timothy Twiddle descended a deep shaft that led to a dark, twisting tunnel far below the surface of the moon. Believing that Poco might have been spirited away by a race of small moon creatures, half man and half monkey, who apparently lived far underground, our friends set out to follow the course of the tunnel. Coming on what appeared to be a subterranean river, Jimmy hurried to slake his thirst, but losing his balance, fell into the black waters and disappeared. Superman searched desperately for his young friend, but although he was able to hear him calling, he was unable to see him, the lead particles in the hard-packed meteoric soil repelling his X-ray vision. Suddenly, Jimmy stopped calling. As we continue now on the bank of the river, Superman and Professor Twiddle see hundreds of yellow eyes gleaming in the darkness. Listen.
Listen, my dear. They are eyes, Superman. Bright yellow eyes.
That's right, Professor.
But
But bless my beard, no creature can have that many eyes. There must be hundreds of them.
That's what there are. Hundreds of creatures.
Are they the moon dwellers?
No, they're scaly little monsters. Something like lizards. And they're coming this way.
They are? Oh, how interesting. They are? Bless my ears. What's that terrible noise? It sounds like crickets.
Well, it's not crickets. It's those lizards, whatever they are. They're champing their jaws and rippling their scales.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it either. Jim stopped calling just before they appeared.
Good heavens. I just remembered the reptilian order of Lassatilia, to which all lizards belong, are carnivorous, you know.
Jim! Where are you? They are?
Yes, of course. Everybody knows that. And now they're going to eat us. Oh, dear me, what am I saying? Why am I standing here?
Now, look, Professor.
Why don't I run away?
You don't have to.
Oh, if only I could make my feet move, but I can't, you know. I really can't.
Take it easy, Professor. They can't eat you.
Oh, yes, they can.
No, they
Why,
can't.
the Verindae Commodiensis, the so-called dragon lizard, goes to 10 feet in length.
Those are only a foot long, and I tell you they can't eat you. See for yourself.
See? Well, how can I see? It's pitch dark. Why, bless my beard, I can see. Where's that strange light coming from?
Iridescent scales on the lizard.
Why, so it is. How amazing.
Now you can see they have no teeth.
No teeth? You say they have no teeth?
No. Jim! Answer me! Jim!
Why, they don't have teeth. And so they can't be lizards. Yes. Lizards aren't iridescent either. But on the other hand...
Look out, Professor!
So dear me.
Two of them almost got you with their tails.
Did they now?
Yes.
Thank you for saving me. Thank you very much. Oh, where are they going?
Into the river.
They can't go. Yes, they can. I haven't had time to study
Well,
them.
that's just too bad. You seem to have forgotten that Jim and Poco are missing. Now, come on.
Come on. Where?
To look for them, of course. Can't understand where Jim disappeared to. I heard his voice, but I couldn't see him. Well, I guess we'll just have to follow this tunnel.
But I can't leave here yet.
Why not?
The Lassatilia. I mean, if they are Lassatilia lizards, you know, which I'm beginning to doubt.
That's Jim's voice.
I presume they could be a species.
Quiet, will you? Jim! Where are you?
Or perhaps even the
Be
stunted
quiet, Professor. Can you hear me, Jim?
I didn't say Jim. I said
Will you be quiet? Where are you?
Bless my beard, I'm right here. You don't have to shout.
Keep calling until I locate your voice.
My voice?
Now, look, Professor Twiddle, if you don't keep quiet, I'm going to have to gag you.
But
All right.
Bless my beard, that sounds like the young man who came up to the moon with me.
I've got an idea where you are, Jim. All right, I'm going to blast through the tunnel and try to find you. Get under my cape, Professor.
What for? I'm not cold.
Coming. All right, Jim. Get under my cape, I said. Jim sounds like he's in trouble.
I'm in trouble, too. I can't find my notebook, and I must find it. Look here. You go on about your business.
I wish I could, but heaven knows what would happen to you if I left you alone for half a minute. All right, don't be frightened now. I'm going to crash through the tunnel. You'll be perfectly safe under my cape. Here we go through. Away!
Oh, bless my beard! Bless my hat! Bless my shoes! Bless me!
Jim, are you all right?
Superman. Oh, gosh, am I glad to see you.
Glad to see you.
Quick, get me out of here. There are some kind of monsters all around.
They won't hurt you.
Oh, no?
No.
Well, look at their yellow eyes and their horned tails.
I know,
They give off a funny light. Why, bless you, young man. You found more specimens of the Lassatilia. Where are they, Lassatilia? Oh, look out, Professor. Don't go near them.
Don't worry, Jim. They're harmless.
Harmless? Are you kidding?
They look pretty frightening, but you're safe as long as you don't get in the way of their tails.
Well, that's what I did.
What do you mean?
Well, when I fell in the river before, the current swept me on top of a whole bunch of these things. They began piling out of the water into this cave with me on their backs.
That must be when I heard you call.
I called, all right. I was scared silly. I tried to run away, but there was no place to run. A couple of them hit me with their tails, and I banged into the wall of the cave and knocked myself out.
You must have frightened them as much as they frightened you.
Yeah.
They hurried out of the cave to where Twiddle and I were.
Are you sure they're harmless?
Yes, indeed. They're sliding back into the river, see?
Stop them, somebody. Stop them. I must observe them. I must take notes.
Sorry, Professor. We haven't time for nature studies.
Oh?
We've got to find Poco.
Jeepers. Well, I was so excited I almost forgot about poor Poco. Poco? I know a chap named Poco. Let me see. I say, I can't see anymore. Who turned the lights out?
Your lizard friends did when they slid into the river.
Oh, yes, so they did. Imagine. They're iridescent. I've never heard of an iridescent order of Lassatilia. Have you, young man? Huh? They're toothless, too. That means they can't be the order of Lassatilia. But what are they, then? They resemble the Trachosaurus rugosus, the stump-tailed skunk, you know. But on the other hand... Professor, will you please cut out the double talk before I go completely nuts? Double talk? Superman. Oh, where are you?
I'm right here, Jim.
Oh, gosh, I thought something else happened.
I'm trying to find the hole I made when I broke in here. But I can't.
What? You can't?
No, it's been closed up.
Why?
I suppose more meteoric dust sifted down and blocked the hole. I can't see through the stuff because of the lead in it, so I can't see the tunnel we were following.
Well, gosh. Can you see my notebook? I really must find my notebook.
Oh, you and your notebook.
Listen, Sue, but I must find it. I must make careful notes on these strange creatures we've just seen. It's my theory that there are prehistoric species long extinct on Earth, just as the great winged
Will
mammals
you stop
are.
with that stuff? We've got to get back to the tunnel and look for Poco. Look, Lisa, I forgot. We're blocked up in this cave.
Don't worry, Jim. I can always blast our way back up to the surface. Uh-oh.
What now?
The wall of the cave seems to give a bit here. This might be where I came through.
Where?
Oh, don't come any closer, Jim. I'm going to smash a hole through here. Might be a small landslide.
Oh, okay.
There goes. I'm falling.
Superman, what happened? Superman. Yes, look, my dear, where are you? Superman, where are you?
Shouting wildly in the Stygian blackness of the cave, Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle hear only the echo of their own voices answering them. We'll return in a moment for the exciting climax of today's episode. But first, here again is your announcer.
You know, gang, when you think of all the exciting fun you're having, rounding out your collection of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep, and when you think that there'll be lots more exciting fun and some thrilling news pretty soon, well, isn't it swell that you get such a kick out of eating that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal? First off, you get so many chuckles out of those pictures of your funny paper favorites, like Moon Mullins with his big derby hat and his straggly hair, and Smokey Stover grinning and holding his fire hose, and young Herbie with his school books under his arm. And you get a thrill out of that Superman button, too, because he looks so powerfully handsome. Yes, you really feel like strutting around when you have all these pet comic buttons pinned on your jacket or your dress or cap for everybody to see. So how's about asking Mom to get you another package or two of Kellogg's Pep, because that's the only way you can finish up your collection. You don't have to send in any money, not even a box stop, and you can't buy them anywhere. But you'll find your comic button, an exclusive prize for you, every time you open a package of P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Breaking through a wall of the cave under the surface of the moon, Superman shouted that he was falling and unable to stop himself. As we continue now, Jimmy Olsen and the bearded little Professor Twiddle, having shouted themselves hoarse, have cautiously worked their way through the pitch blackness of the cave to the point from which the Man of Steel disappeared.
It was just about here where he... Well, that's funny.
Funny? I don't see anything funny about it, young man.
I mean, this is where Superman was when he hollered that he was falling, but there's no hole here.
There isn't?
No, there's just the wall of the cave.
Well, then where could he fall?
I don't know. Solid wall here, too. And here. Oh, gosh. I know, Professor.
You do? Well, speak up, young man. Speak up.
Oh, he broke through the wall and fell into something,
and what?
Oh, the meteoric dust or soil or whatever it is came down and closed up the hole again.
Why, bless my dear, that's exactly what must have happened.
What are we going to do about it?
Do? Did you say do?
Yeah, what? Superman's gone, and we're closed up in this cave. The only way out is the river, and that's got a terribly strong current.
It is also people with the prehistoric lassatilia. If they are lassatilia, I mean. Bless my beard. We are in a very precarious position, young man.
We certainly are. We're cooked geese, that's what we are. Cooked geese.
Trembling, Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle stand helplessly in the black cave below the surface of the moon and see no way of salvation. What will happen to them? And what has happened to Poco and to Superman? Have the strange forces of the moon proven too much for even the Man of Steel? Tomorrow's episode is tense and exciting, fellows and girls, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Say, gang, here's some razzle-dazzle news to flash to Mom. Kellogg's Variety is back. So now everybody at the breakfast table can have the Kellogg cereal he likes best. Because Kellogg's Variety is that grand variety carton holding 10 generous packages of 6 favorite Kellogg cereals. Are they delicious? And does Kellogg's Variety make breakfast fun? Why, it's better than a grab bag because you get what you really want. today ask Mom to get Kellogg's Variety, the package that makes breakfast a picnic. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System. Kellogg's Pep, the super delicious cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, defender of law and order, champion of equal rights, valiant, courageous fighter against the forces of hate and prejudice, who today encounters more strange experiences with Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle on their way to the underground city of the Moon Dwellers. We'll return to the scene in just a moment. But first, a word from our friend, Dan McCullough.
You know, gang, they say time flies. And nowadays, when you're busy rounding out your collection of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep, seems like time flies with the speed of Superman. Why, almost before you know it, you're close to having all 18 buttons in the first series. It's mighty exciting and loads of fun. Exciting fun when Mom opens a new package of Pep to see which button is inside. Thrilling fun when you get a duplicate to shop around among your pals and see who has a duplicate to trade with you. Doggone wonderful fun wearing all your Pep comic buttons pinned on your jacket or dress or cap for everybody to see. And there'll be lots more fun, too, because something new and exciting is coming along soon. So get busy on your collection, gang. Why, these Pep comic buttons are so easy to get, you don't have to send in any money, not even a box top. Fact is, you can't buy them anywhere. All you have to do is to make sure Mom keeps stocked up with plenty of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep. There's an exclusive prize in every package. See how soon you can finish up your collection of comic buttons from P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now, the adventures of Superman.
Convinced that Poco had been carried away by the Moon Dwellers, shaggy little creatures who appear to be half man and half monkey and live far under the surface of the moon, Superman, Jimmy Olsen, and Professor Twiddle followed a winding underground tunnel to a cave on a subterranean river. Unable to make use of his X-ray vision because the meteoric soil contained lead, Superman threw himself against a wall of the cave in an attempt to find a way out. Shouting that he was falling, the Man of Steel disappeared, leaving Jimmy and the Professor alone in the pitch-black cave with no way out except via the mysterious, swift-flowing river, in which lurked a strange species of yellow-eyed lizards. Listen.
We're cooked geese, Professor. Superman's gone and we're stuck in this cave. We're cooked geese. Geese? Did you say geese? I said cooked ones. Or dead ducks, if you like that better. Oh, no, thank you. I much prefer geese. Or turkey. Oh. Although, come to think of it, I'll have fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy, you know, and peas. Oh, stop it. Huh? Oh, you're quite right. I think wax beans would be better than peas. And hot-buttered biscuits. Will you stop it? Are we in a bad enough fix without you reminding me how hungry I am? Hungry? Did you say you were hungry? Well, bless my stomach, so am I. Why don't we have dinner? Oh, sure. Why don't we? Call a waiter. Oh, yes, that's an excellent idea. Waiter? I say, where is the waiter? He just stepped out. He did? Where? Oh, I can't joke anymore. I'm scared. What are we going to do, Professor? Do about what? Well, about getting out of this cave, for one thing. The cave? Oh, yes, the cave. And finding Superman and Poco. Yes, Superman and Poco. And then getting back to Earth. Jimmy, that too. Bless my beard, how are we going to accomplish all those things, young man? I guess we're not going to accomplish any of them. We're not? You say we're not? Oh, don't say that. We must get back to Earth. We really must. I must publish a report of my amazing discoveries on the moon. Just think. We discovered that the other side of the moon has an atmosphere. An atmosphere, think of that. Uh-huh. And think of the little moon dwellers and the great winged mammals that have been extinct on Earth for millions of years. I don't want to think about them. And the lassatilia. I mean, if they are lassatilia, the strange lizard-like creatures. I don't want to think about them either. I just want to... Oh, please, here they come. Huh? What's that? The lizards, or whatever they are. What about them? Where? They're coming in here from the river again. Can't you hear them and see their yellow eyes? Oh, golly. But yes, so they are. How wonderful. I'll have an opportunity to study them again. Where's my notebook? I must sign my notebook. Have you seen my notebook, young man? Well, look out, Professor. Look out for what? The lizards, they'll hit you with their tails. Bless my beard, one almost did hit me. But this is a splendid opportunity to study them. Their luminescent scales give off quite a good light, you know. Please help me find my notebook. Look out. Oh, another one almost got you. Bless my beard. Oh, come on. We scared them away before. Maybe we can scare them away again. stamp your feet. But I don't want to scare them away. You'd rather be knocked silly by that big horny tail, huh? Come on, stamp. Beat it, you, whatever you are. And straight. Back into the river with you. Go on. Young man, you're driving them away. Bet I am. Go on now. Back into the drink. They're gone.
Bless us, what have you done?
Oh, probably saved our lives for the moment.
But how am I to determine now what to call them in my book?
What book?
The one I shall write as soon as we return to Metropolis, of course. I shall call it, let me see. What shall I call it?
Oh, you take the cake, Professor.
Cake? Who said anything about cake? Oh, well, I shan't worry about the title now. I must decide, however, what to call the Lassatilia. Only I can't call them Lassatilia, even though they do resemble the Tracheosaurus rugosus, as well as the Zonuras and Agamidae, because they're luminescent.
Stop with that double talk.
The double what?
The talk. You're driving me nuts.
First it's cakes, and then it's nuts. Young man, are you quite sure you feel all right?
Who, me? Oh, I feel fine. I feel great. Oh, why shouldn't I? We're only lost in a cave on the moon, 250,000 miles from Earth, and no way of getting back there, and something's happened to Superman. Yeah, everything's wonderful. Just too wonderful.
Well, bless my beard, I quite forgot all that. And my docket being disabled.
Huh?
I mean, my rocket being disabled. We are stuck on the moon, aren't we?
Well, we're stuck under the surface of the moon, in case you're interested.
Yes, of course. Well, what shall we do?
You're asking me?
Yes, certainly I'm asking you. You have a head on your shoulders, young man. You're resourceful. Why, when those great winged mammals attacked us in the rocket, it was you who thought to drive them off with the fire extinguisher. Now, all you have to do is devise some means of getting us out of this predicament.
Oh, that's all I have to do, huh?
That's all. Very simple. I shall attend to the rest of it. Putting the story of our amazing experiences between book covers, I mean.
Well, that's pretty nice of you, Professor.
Think nothing of it. I'll be glad to do it. Just get us out of this, what did you call it before? Oh, yes, tickle.
The only way out of this cave is the river.
Yes, of course, the river. All we need is a boat.
Oh, is that all?
Yes, that's all. Perhaps we could build one. I'm good at building things. I built a radar rocket, you know.
That's something I'd like to forget. Anyhow, we can't build a boat because there's nothing to build one with. There's only meteoric dust in this cave.
I don't quite see how we could build a boat out of dust.
I was thinking we might try swimming the river and see where it took us. The current's awfully strong, and those big lizards are in the water.
The lizards are quite harmless, young man. Unless you get in the way of their tails, of course.
That's what I was thinking. Well, maybe we ought to try it anyhow, though.
It's quite out of the question, young man.
Well, why is it? We're sunk if we stay here.
We'll sink much more quickly in the river. I can't swim, you know.
Oh, and that's out.
Think of something else.
I can't. I just... What's that?
What?
Well, didn't you hear that noise?
Noise? Why, no,
Well, there it is again.
Bless my beard, I do hear it. What is it?
I don't know, but I don't like it. Jeepers, it sounds like an earthquake.
Earthquake? You mean a moonquake, young man?
Huh? Well, yeah. Gosh, Professor, if there's an earthquake down here, I mean a moonquake, well...
Bless my soul, we just won't be.
You said it. What'll we do?
I was just about to ask you that.
Oh, you're a great help. Holy smokes. What's that?
Bless my beard, I have no idea. But it sounds quite terrible, doesn't it?
It sounds like curtains to me, Professor.
Their knees shaking, Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle stand in the dark cave and listen to the great thunder of sound about them. What is happening under the surface of the moon? We'll return in a moment to find out. But first, here again is your announcer.
You know, gang, you'll feel mighty disappointed someday soon if all your pals were rounding out their collections of comic buttons from packages of Kellogg's Pep, and you weren't pretty near to getting all 18 buttons, too. Why, you want to sport just as many of these Pep comic buttons on your jacket or dress or cap as the next kid. First off, you'd hate to miss the excitement of seeing which comic button is inside when Mom opens a new package of Pep. And you want to be in on the fun of swapping duplicates with your pals, too. And every single one of these Pep comic buttons is so doggone smart-looking that, well, you want to collect them all. Like Superman, for instance, and Periwinkle and Smitty and Lillums. Boy, the colors are so bright and sharp, the pictures of your favorite funny paper characters stand out like anything on these gleaming white enamel buttons. And right now is a good time to remind Mom to get you some more of that super delicious whole wheat flake cereal, Kellogg's Pep, so you'll be all ready when I bring you that exciting news I've been hinting at. Get your comic button collection complete. You don't have to send in any money, not even a box top. And you can't buy these Pep comic buttons anywhere. They're exclusive prizes in packages of P.E.P. Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, made by Kellogg, the greatest name in cereals. Now, back to the adventures of Superman.
Trapped in a cave under the surface of the moon, Jimmy Olsen and Professor Twiddle heard sudden violent crashings and rumblings and a great swirling wind. Believing they were caught in an earthquake, or what the professor termed a moonquake, Jimmy gasped,
I think this is curtain for us, Professor. That window, whatever it is coming closer. Oh, gosh, here it comes. Professor, help!
Relax, Jim.
Uh-huh? What?
Sorry if I scared you, but when I went back up to the surface of the moon...
Wait, it's Superman.
That's right. As I say, when I got back to the surface of the moon, I found the shaft leading down to the tunnel blocked up. I couldn't see the tunnel from the surface because of the lead and the meteoric dust. So I had to keep blasting down until I found the river and followed it to this cave.
Oh, boy, I gotta sit down.
Oh, here, hang on to me.
I'm okay now. We thought it was an earthquake. But listen, what happened to you before? When you broke out of the cave, you hollered you were falling.
I did fall, for miles.
Miles?
Yes, there's a deep pit on the other side of this cave. It seems to be bottomless. My hunch is that it penetrates to the poles of the moon, because the gravitational pull was terrific. I had quite a time getting away from it. I finally blasted my way into a deep crater and got back to the moon's surface.
Jeepers.
But I located the tunnel again, and now we can go after Poco.
Oh, gosh, yes, poor Poco. We've got to find him.
Well, we're going to try. Now, you and Professor Twiddle get under my arms. We'll fly upriver to where the tunnel is, and... Hey, wait. Where is the professor?
Well, he's right here.
No, he isn't.
Oh, sure he is. Hey, Professor, come here. We're going after Poco.
I tell you, he's not here, Jim.
But he must be. He was here just a minute ago.
Well, he's not here now.
What?
He's nowhere in this cave.
Leaping lizards.
Well, now what? First Poco, and now Professor Twiddle, vanished into thin air. But how could the professor disappear from Jimmy's side so mysteriously? What strange forces are at work on the moon and under its surface? Forces which baffle even Superman. Don't miss tomorrow's exciting episode, fellows and girls, when we learn more of a curious city under the moon, where Superman is called upon to match every ounce of his great strength against the most amazing opponents of his career. So tune in, same time, same station, and follow the adventures of Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Fellows and girls, be sure to follow the adventures of Superman. Brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, same time, same station, by the grand old Kellogg Company of Battle Creek. And for other thrilling adventures of Superman, see your local newspaper. Superman is also a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC publications. Give a hip hip hooray, gang. It's back. For you and me, now there's Kellogg's famous variety. That's the swell variety carton with 10 separate generous packages of Kellogg's cereals, including Kellogg's Pep, Rice Krispies, shredded wheat, corn flakes, crumbles, and 40% bran flakes. Each box in Kellogg's variety holds a fresh, crisp, heaping portion. Just help yourself to your favorite kind. Makes breakfast a picnic of fun. So ask Mom to get Kellogg's variety right away. And be sure to be with us for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Finding life where to go, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else. One more for you, escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Escape with us now to a small fishing boat off the California coast, and a night of terror and death at the hands of a brilliant madman, as Bud A. Nelson tells it in his exciting story, 7 Hours to Freedom. The Pacific Ocean off the coast of Southern California usually thought of as calm and peaceful, but there's very little danger. But don't take the Pacific for granted, or you'll be writing your name in foam and throwing it into the wind. There can be trouble out there, all kinds of trouble. The winter months are the leans along the coast. Lou and I scraped the bottom of the barrel to make fuel and stores for my boat, the Mary Widow. Rigging for mackerel is fishing the hard way. You've seen the mackerel fleet sneak up on the coast. Those ghostly cities and lights offshore. Guys like Lou and myself trying to make a payload with lights and stinking chum. Mashed, marinated muck you toss overboard with your bare hands to attract the fish. We were anchored alone west of Point Doom Whistlebury, about a mile out. It was dark except for the spot we flashed on the water, the flashing of headlights on Highway 181, where it dips down to the shore and did a run for Zuma Grade. There were mackerel around, and we were ready.
Come on, baby. Up you come.
And a boy, Lou. Keep it coming.
Right.
I'll move the chum out into the light.
Hiya, come on, kids. Reach out. Good, juicy, chewy face. Come and get it. Oh, yeah. Hot.
They're swarming into the spot. They ripped the edges, Lou. They're about ready for the net. Oh, look at them. 3 or 4 pounders.
Show me a spot, boy. Lay it right in front of me. They're ready for the net.
Current's offshore. Drag toward me.
Right.
Ease into him.
Oh, boy. They're hot and heavy. That net's alive.
Hello up.
Kind of green dynamite. Come on, kiddies. Come to top.
Beauties. Good boy, Lou. Keep him coming. Watch us. That's the way it works. If you hit it, you forget the smell, the scum, the numbness in your hands, the icy water in your boots. You forget you're heaving 30 to 50 pounds in the end of an 8-foot pole. And you see dollars pile up in the bin boards on your deck. You forget everything around you until they're gone. And you notice that there is a world around you.
Here we go. Screws out.
2 tons at least.
Yeah.
Looks like another wreck on Zuma Grade.
Yeah. Look at the headlights. People just can't pass up an accident.
Must be a pretty bad one. I'll take a boat any day. Well, let's get out of here. We can make it back in time for chow.
Yeah. 6 fried eggs, seasoned with Tabasco sauce, bowl of chili, and a pot of black coffee.
It sounds good to me. Boy, that stuff sure gets cold.
Yeah.
Now, get the anchor. Let's get out of here.
Fire up. I'm for it. Okay. Run up on it. Get in. Hold it.
What's the matter?
Anchor's falling. Come back down on it. Feels like rock.
Take a turn on the creek. Let the swell break it loose.
Hey, she's really caught fast.
Wait a minute, Lou. Give me some slack. I'll back off.
What's wrong?
I don't know. Yeah, come here.
What's up?
Look. Company.
Yeah. What the devil are those guys doing on here in a little rowboat at this hour?
They're either drunk or crazy.
They're sport fishermen. I don't see any tackle.
Ahoy there! Please! Please wait!
Well, they're in trouble.
Look. Guy in the stern. Hunched over.
You get the boat hook, Lou. I'll take a fender.
That tide's doing more good than the oars are. These boys aren't seamen.
No. Watch the roll when he pulls you alongside. Hey, you in the bow. Catch the rack. Hold yourself off.
Come on out! We have an injured man here. Lend a hand.
Yeah, sure.
Now, get aboard. Ellis, help Stacy.
Help him? Head weight.
Give me your hand.
Thank you. my injured friend. You and Skip. Hand him to me. Now, right here. Lift him as high as you can. Now, slip your hand up. Okay. There. Got him. Now, Lou, open the hatch to the cabin. Now, move that gear off the bunk. Unfortunate thing. Very unfortunate. Now, hand me the first aid kit. Now, on the bulkhead behind you. Completely unnecessary. Efficient shooting, wouldn't you say? Perilously near the heart. Yeah. Fatally near. Yeah, put the kit back. It's too late. How this happen? Loaded gun. Yes. Loaded gun in expert hands. This may be pretty funny to you, mister, but I don't think it'll go over very big with the police. The police? No, I suppose not. Poor Stacy, his fourth and final loss. What, mister? What's the story? Oh, that's right. You came in at the end. But first... What's your gun for? Your protection. And mine. Forgive me, young man, for pointing this at you. I use it only to establish command. Outside. Go on.
Bert, I'm getting pretty sick of your fancy yapping and no action.
Yeah, mastermind. You got us into this, now come up with a way out. My friends despise me, Captain. Look at them. Young Ellis.
Shut up, Burke. I warned you.
He's a coward, a thief, and a murderer who fancies himself equal to any known knife artist.
You know I'll kill you, don't you, Burke? If it's the last thing I do, I'll cut that fat off of you.
It will be the last thing you do, Ellis. And Dowd there. He killed 2 men, wasn't it, Dowd? 2 defenseless men.
Feed on, you greasy slob. You're digging a grave with your tongue.
And Stacy. Poor dead Stacy.
Keep talking, Bert. Keep flapping your big mouth while the law sets up another trap. Why don't we get rid of these 2 punks and get moving?
Yeah, give me that gun, Bert. You ain't got the guts to do nothing. You all talk. Give me that gun.
Stay right where you are, Ellis. You two down. I supplied the intelligence that saw us this far. And I really don't need you anymore. Sit down. Both of you sit down right by that tank.
You yellow bird. Plain dirty yellow. Make me sit down. Go on, Bert. Make me sit down.
I don't want to have to fire this gun. Sound carries over water.
Talk big, Bert, while you've got that gun.
The only gun, Dowd. That highway is swarming with police cars now. They're saying dead or alive. The choice is up to you. Make one move toward me or these fishermen, and I make the choice.
You make that choice. You chose to lead us into a trap because you didn't have the guts to shoot a measly highway cop. You got Stacy shot. You wrecked the car. Then you nearly drowned us in that leaky rowboat.
You can thank me in that leaky rowboat that you're alive right now. I feel very kindly toward that rowboat. Pull with the board. Go on, pull with the board. You two may need it. One false move and you'll find yourselves adrift. Captain, get the anchor up. Take in the slack we can get through. 9 parts. By this distance, Captain. Our destination is Mexico. But a world of warning. I seen this camp alone. These fools I took through prison walls have turned against me. But I still have a pistol. How far is the international border? 7-8 hours. I prefer 7. 7 hours for freedom. My freedom. And 7 hours for us to consider your fate.
You can start out to count the laughs in the Red Skelton Show, but you'll wind up laughing so hard yourself you'll lose the count. No question about it, Red Skelton is a very funny man with a very funny show. And this fall you hear Red Skelton every Sunday evening on CBS. Rated a top comedian, Skelton has a special form of humor, a unique brand of madcap hilarity that leaves him gasping. You have a grand time. It's entertainment at its best. Be sure to listen to the Red Skelton Show every Sunday evening over most of these same CBS stations. And now, we return you to Escape.
Dawn broke with the Los Angeles harbor light well in our stern. Mary Widow's bow pointed at Mexican waters, and a pistol in Burke's fat hand setting the course. The morning was foggy. Other things were clear. Someone along Zuma Beach would find their rowboat missing. We had a dead man in the cabin, and the lives of Lou and I hung on the brim of a fat maniac. Our only hope was a radio. I switched the frequency to Coast Guard, flipped the mic to transmit, and hoped that someone would be listening. It's more pleasant up there on the bridge, Captain. The cabin is somewhat stuffy. What's your master plan for the body? Well, some things, dead man. Much as I'd like to dispose of it, we can't risk covering our trail. Let us hope there will be no more. There needn't be, you know, if you cooperate. Yeah, the Merry Widow's at your disposal, Mr. Burke. As long as you hold that gun on the crew, there's no choice but to take you to Mexico. We don't have too far to go. Just about due west of Long Beach, making 18 knots. You are unduly nervous, Captain. Is it the pistol? Look at our friends huddled together down there in the stern. Planning my assassination, and no doubt yours. You understand the situation, don't you? No. Then I'll tell you. The scum and I are your buffers, your guardians against the plotters back there. In exchange for this protection, you give me transportation. In a few hours, I will be a free man, and I shall go my way unloved. Maybe. Radio. The radio. I underestimated you, Captain. Very clever. Well, I tried. I assume I've been broadcasting for some time. You have. Direct to United States Coast Guard. I bow to you. How stupid of me. And you. Up to this point, you've shown some intelligence. These heroics give me no choice. All right, go ahead and shoot. You'll pile on the rocks before you hit San Diego. You'll never see Mexico. Lou's no pilot, none of you are. You're right. You are still useful. Resume your course. Look, Burke, you're supposed to be the brains of the outfit. If you're even half smart, you'll get in that skiff and head for shore. You better not be on this boat when the Coast Guard catches up with us. If you're a religious man, Captain, I would suggest that you pray they don't catch up with us. Look, mister, my advice to you is to launch that skiff and hit for the beach. You're a fool, Captain. Until your little stratagem shows tangible results, I wait. And you live. Resume your course. Newport Harbor bore up our bow, swung a beam, and slid past the stern. With it went my hopes of help from the Coast Guard out of Newport. No more stations now until San Diego. At the foot of San Clemente's red tile roofs, I saw a Santa Fe streamliner rushing north towards Los Angeles. I wished I was on it and headed in the same direction. How far are we from the border, Captain? 5, 6 hours. Good. If The Coast Guard heard your radio. They don't seem to be rushing to your rescue. Take another look, Burke. Dead ahead and bearing down. Hold your course. Don't try to attract them or you'll die right where you stand. You won't. Yeah. Stay where you are. Hold your course, Captain. Mister, that's a Coast Guard picket boat. They got guns. Ellis, down. Stand up and wave. Make it look friendly. Don't overdo it. You, Captain, wave through. Wave, wave. Look at the fools. The friendly fools waving back. We're just friendly fishermen. They didn't even cut their speed. Two herringbone wakes met, merged playfully, overlapped and faded. With them right now boats of help from outside. Our only chance now is to get Burke's gun. The fish lines. But they were back on the clean chute, neatly whacked. I turned to look. Gone. 3 lines gone. My hand rested on the clutch lever, cast bronze, complete with grip and detachable. I had to get that gun. It fit the key that locked the lever on. Come here! I want to talk to you. Is that a deal? I've been expecting this. They're ready to cooperate. You, down the ladder. Just in case our good captain entertains any rash notions, you will be our hostage. Go ahead. Happy to oblige. Step right back to the little group here. I watched helplessly while Lou led the way out where 2 criminals sat, backs to the bait tank. They rose as Burke lurched toward them against every roll and pitch of the boat. Ellis suddenly stepped between Lou and Burke. The pistol roared harmlessly. Burke slumped balloon-like as Dowd tore the pistol from his hand. Ellis, knife in hand, kept slashing. No, fellas, lay off! Lay off, I said! Give me that knife! Give me that! And I cut him, the fat slob. He didn't believe me, eh? Look at him! Blood! Blood and blood! Come on, Lou! Up that ladder there to your buddy! Go on! Yes, sir. Sit down there, stay put. You, Buster, keep this thing moving. Which way? Like Burke said, Mexico. As long as we come this far, we go all the way. Move in. Driving closer to shore. How close? I'll tell you how close. Hey, now, wait a minute. I'll pick out a spot to beach the skip. Then we'll move back outside the 3-mile limit until dark, so that Mexican patrols can't find us. Ain't that nice? At dark, I move in as close to shore as I can. And you go ashore in the skip, and I head back up the coast. Just like that, huh? Buster, you better pick a good spot to make a landing, because you're going in with us. Going with you? What about this boat? Leave it, Mexican authorities. You're gonna drive this boat right up on the beach, that's what, right up on the beach. Reckon? Look, we draw close to 10 feet of water. We're ground, the city block offshore. So what? I can swim. Got nothing to worry about. You ain't gonna need this tub no more. Look, Dowd. If we beach this boat, we mark the spot where you go ashore. But put in by skip and you won't attract any attention. My radio shot, it's 2 hours run back to San Diego. I can't holler anything that'll hurt you. It ain't 2 hours to Mexican cops. I can't go to Mexican cops. I haven't got a clearance. I'm not going to pull into a Mexican port and have my boat impounded, am I? I told you how it's going to be. As soon as the Mexican authorities find this boat with bodies on board, they'll know you boys are over the border and how you got there. Hmm? Yeah, maybe you've got something. No, I'll talk it over with Ellis. Don't try no... Yeah. We've got a fake engine trouble. The master switch. One of us has to get down to the engines. A short hose in the manifold cooling system. Port engine side, salt water intake. Yeah. It's our only chance. Disconnected. Foul the bilge pump screen. Flood the bilges? Yeah. We risk fire, but it's our only chance to frighten them guys into the skip. Cut it, he's coming back. That's the way it's gonna be. Now, like I said first, pile it on a
her down?
No, she just quit. Maybe even beating these engines. She's hot. Get it going. I have to get at the engines down the road. No, you don't. Step on the starter. Come on, try it. It's hot, I tell you. 180 degrees. Oh, look for yourself. It's 40 degrees too hot. What does that mean? Means I got to... No, you don't. Who? You know what to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Check the oil filter first in the screen ahead of the pump. Wait a minute, you.
Okay.
Try it again first. Go on. It's no use. The trouble's down the engine room. Go on, Lou. Well, get down in the hole with this guy. Keep an eye on him.
Okay, sure. Come on! Come on, you hurry it up down there. Tell them to try it now. I found the trouble. Tell them it's fixed. Hey! Try it now, he said. That was it. You can tell me the speed. Plenty of water now. Plenty. Good.
Plenty of water. All the salt water that should be flowing through the water jackets of two big exhaust pipes pouring into the bilges. And two red-hot manifolds absorbing all the heat of the two big engines. I took a sight on the hull. Chine line 2 feet above water. Bilge pump sucking nothing but air. 10 minutes, line 6 inches lower. Half hour, 1 foot down. 3/4 of an hour, 18 inches lower. Water would be climbing up to drown out the batteries. Exhaust pipes, white hot. I yanked the release in the CO2 system. White clouds sizzled up from below.
Fire! Fire, we're thinking! There's water!
Get the skip over the side before she explodes. Fire extinguisher, Lou. Cover me, I'm going below. Get the skip over, don't stand there now.
Push it over the rail! We're getting at us! Let's get out of here! Wait! Get down below! Wait! You can't leave us here to sing! Come on! You all right down there, Jeff? Rats left us. They'll be right up.
Phew. We nearly overdid it. Wood was smoldering.
You're telling me. Battery's wet?
Inch to go.
Oh.
Yeah, that manifold was hot. We didn't make it.
Look at our friends beat water.
Yeah, this proves the story about rats and sinking ships. Well, come on, Lou. Up on the bridge. Watch their faces now.
Back in the well?
No, we need that water in the business. Boy, we pull a wake like a little Queen Mary.
Turning up 2,800.
That's still a little hot. I want 3,000. Now, look behind us. We're on a wake like a destroyer. Come on, baby. Big bird, 3,000. Turn, come on, around. That's a nice tight circle. What?
What are you going to do? Crash them?
The last them with our wake. We let chop hit their skiff from 4 sides. You think they're in a sou'easter?
Look it down. Trying to get a bead on it.
There they go, capsize. That's just what I wanted.
Yeah. Hang on to the keel of the boat.
Let them take wood for about half an hour. Well, that water's cold.
You should know.
Let's see if Brown's still got a gun.
I can't tell. Looks like he
has. They won't have for very long. His hands will get so numb, you think they're sawed off. back. We got the fellow, Johnny Walker. Might as well enjoy ourselves now that we got them guys where we want them. I wonder about prices. Mackerel? 42 bucks. Give me that. Not bounty. Reward. The state of California is a smuggling zone. Irish, 2 tons square mackerel, 1 radio transmitter, 4 escape convicts, 2 of them on ice. Well, get the boat, Hookley. 2 ladders are ready for the gas.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have brought you 7 Hours to Freedom by Bud A. Nelson, with Jack Moyle starred as Jeff. Featured in the cast were Stan Waxman, Jack Crucian, Barney Phillips, and Lou Krugman. The special music for Escape was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Escape will present one of the most unusual and terrifying stories of recent years. The Earth Abides by George Stewart, especially adapted for radio by David Ellis. It's a story of such scope that the producers of Escape, to dramatize its full impact, are presenting it in 2 episodes. So listen next week when we bring you the story of a man who wakes one morning to find human life has practically vanished from the face of the earth. CBS's lovely red-headed Saturday night comedian, Lucille Ball, pays an extra visit to CBS, the Star's address, tonight. Lucille will be the special guest of Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. More famous guests, Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman, will pay one of their hilarious calls on Jack Benny. And don't forget, it's later today that Frank Sinatra starts his new Sunday afternoon series on this network over most of these same stations. Now, stay tuned for Make Believe Town, which follows immediately on most of the CBS stations. Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you spend an hour with Frank Sinatra every Sunday afternoon, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? Weep you, finding life rather dull, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape.
Today, Escape brings you one of the most unusual and terrifying stories of recent years. It is a story of such scope that the producers of Escape, in order to dramatize its full impact, will present it in 2 episodes. So now, with the performance of John Daner as Isherwood Williams, we bring you part 1 of George Stewart's powerful novel, Earth Abides. If a killing type of virus strain should suddenly arise by mutation, it could, because of the rapid transportation in which we indulge nowadays, be carried to the far corners of the earth and cause the death of millions of people.
If you should awake some morning
tomorrow morning, let's say, if you should wake to a man-dead world where virtually all of human life had been dissolved from the face of the earth, leaving behind only buildings, bridges, machines, if you should awake to such a world tomorrow morning, what would you do? Where would you go? My name is Isherwood Williams. I was a student of ecology. I was in the Northern California wilderness gathering specimens of rock, plant, and animal life. I was alone and had been for a month. Climbing up to a sharp ledge one day, I felt a sudden sharp pain in my extended right hand. I withdrew it under reflex and looked up, and there, a foot above my head, I saw him, a rattler, coiled, ready to strike again. Slowly, carefully, I lowered myself and began to suck the poison from the bite. I wrapped a handkerchief about my wrist tourniquet style and headed for my cabin. There, I broke open my snake bite outfit, cut a neat crisscross in my hand at the point of the wound, and applied the rubber suction pump. Then I lay down on my cot. I felt sick. Sick because of the poison. Sick because I was alone. I was weak. In a few moments, deep, warm blackness closed in about me. I don't know how long I was unconscious, but I was awakened by the door.
Harry? Harry, look here. This one's still alive, I think.
Hello. I'm glad you came. I'm sick.
He's still alive, all right. Don't go near him. Come on, let's get out of here.
No, wait. I'm sick. Come back. Why? Why did they leave me when they knew I was sick? What were they afraid of? I tried to stand. My knees were like sponge rubber. But finally, I was able to stumble to my chest of drawers. And then I saw the hammer, my rock hammer, resting on the top of the chest. And it suddenly became the most important thing in the world to me. If I can lift this hammer, I told myself, I will live. I wrapped my fingers about its handle, and I lifted it slowly, then let it down. I breathed a sigh of relief. I would live. In the morning, I felt better. I got up, packed the car, and headed for the nearest town, Hudsonville, about 10 miles to the south. They'd take care of me in Hudsonville.
Consider, if you will, the case of the rats that once inhabited Christmas Island, a small bit of tropical verdure some 200 miles south of Java. In 1903, a new disease sprang up. The rats proved universally susceptible and soon were dying by the thousands. In spite of great numbers, in spite of an abundant supply of food, in spite of a rapid breeding rate, the species is now extinct.
Hudsonville. The familiar houses, stores, taverns, but no one on the streets. A hen scratched quietly in the dust. A lonely dog was howling somewhere. I got out of the car and walked into a little restaurant. The place was empty. Hey. Is anybody here? Hey! Silence. Deathly silence. On the counter, I saw a newspaper. Flipped it open. The headline,
Crisis. Acute.
I read the story, a dispatch from Washington.
The federal government is herewith suspended as of the emergency. All officers, including those of the armed forces, will put themselves under the orders of any functioning local authority by order of the acting president.
Front page, column 3.
The West Oakland Hospitalization Center has been abandoned. Its functions, including burials at sea, are now concentrated at the Berkeley Center. Keep tuned to your radio.
The radio. The radio in my car. I turned the dial to the most powerful station in the vicinity. Static. Nothing but static. Desperately, I twisted it from one end of the band to the other, praying for a human voice, a bar of music, anything. There wasn't a single radio station still in operation. The horn. Someone will hear the horn. Silence and death. I leaned back in the seat, exhausted. I sat that way for minutes before I looked at the paper again. The paper. The last sign of human life left to me. It was dated a week before. I read it through twice. Whole cities had perished. Medical centers, bodies. Doctors, nurses, burial crews hard at work, and then they too had fallen and died. The United States, the world, a stagnant flesh pool of death. Suddenly, with terror, I thought of home. I started for San Francisco. On the way, I helped myself to a tank full of gas at the station. Oddly enough, the pumps were still working. Electricity still flowed from the river-driven generators, and the lights still blazed. I wondered how I had survived. Perhaps the snake venom had counteracted the virus. Perhaps the clean wilderness, who could say? But somewhere, someone else was alive. The men at the cabin door, there must be others, but where? I passed some cows in a pasture. Smiled to myself at the irony. The world belonged once again to the animals.
Ecological observation. Pedigree means nothing now. The prize, which is life itself, will go to the keenest brain, the staunchest limb, the strongest jaw. The champion boars will die in their well-kept pens, but the shoats will roam wild. In a few generations, their legs will grow slim, their bodies thin, their tusks longer. Man, they need nothing from man.
I passed 4 or 5 cars on the highway, abandoned. But farther along, I spotted another car, and there was a man inside. I stopped and got out. He had fallen over the wheel. There was a bottle beside him and the strong smell of cheap liquor. I shook him. Come on. Come on, wake up. Wake up.
Oh,
wake up, I said.
Hey,
come on now, come on.
Now, leave me alone. Now, you just leave me alone.
I said wake up.
Hey.
What's your name? Your name.
Oh, what difference does it make?
Oh, come on. Don't go back to sleep. What's your name?
Barlow. Barlow's my name. 58 Barlows in the Seattle telephone directory, and I'm the only one left. Me, the dirtiest skunk of the lot. What am I doing alive? Answer me that.
Go back to sleep, Mr. Barlow.
Wait. Here. It's free on the house. Everything's on the house now. Have a drink.
Oh, thanks.
Let me tell you why I'm still alive. Because I'm being punished. I'm not good enough to die.
Oh, goodbye, Mr. Barlow.
No, hey, come on back. I'll buy you a drink. It's good. I'll buy you a drink. Look here, I got $500. I took it from a bank yesterday. You want to hear? $500.
San Francisco. The mute, dead city of San Francisco. A naked forest of concrete with its empty streets, its ghosts of newspapers blowing across alleys. I crossed the Bay Bridge, stretched over the blank water. A single car, coupe. parked in an emergency recess with its sole possessor now. The Bay Bridge. A final monument to the greatness that had been mankind. I drove the familiar route toward home, turned right at San Lupo Drive, pulled up in front of the house. I walked up the stairs, took out my key, opened the door. Strange odor of must and stale food blew out at me. Mom? Dad? Mom? I fell into a chair and cried.
Observation. The desert and the wilderness began a long time ago. Men came only in the latter centuries. They camped at the springs and wore faint trails through the mesquite bushes. They laid rails, strung wire, paved long, straight roads. After a while, men were gone, leaving their small works behind them. In 1,000 years, at a conservative estimate, man will be a forgotten stone in the jungle.
Where would I go? I had no idea. I only knew I had to keep going. Change of place was my only comfort now, the only way I had of convincing myself that there was still life in the world. The snake bite began to hurt again. It felt good, some small sign of living flesh. I left San Francisco and started across what had once been the United States, Route 66, through the giant Southwest. The towns, the empty, dead towns, the dust-blown, silent towns passed me by, one after another. Kingman, Flagstaff, Albuquerque, Oklahoma City. Just outside Guthrie, I saw a Negro tending his garden as if nothing had happened. He was afraid. He waved me on with a shotgun. In Tulsa, the sprinklers were still going in the park. I stopped. In Fayetteville, Arkansas, I heard music. It came from a little bar, neon lit, spitting its bright invitation to the empty street. I took my hammer and went inside. The bottles were stacked neatly, bar rag over the rack, and a broken jukebox, blazing in blues and reds, singing its song to the vacant, varnished tables.
And you just want to jump up and
Shut
down
up.
like a carnival.
Shut up.
It's love.
Shut up.
There's a sparkle
Shut
to me.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
But you're soaring to where? Oh, but it's
I slept in the best auto courts of the most luxurious hotels. I slept and ate from the leavings of 150 million people. All the wealth of America had been bequeathed to me. All its wealth and its death. Three days later, I pulled up the Pulaski Skyway, crossed George Washington Bridge, came to Manhattan. The splendid, slow-decaying corpse of Fifth Avenue, the sable mink in the windows, the silly traffic lights changing color at naked intersections. Manhattan, soulless and dead.
Stretched out between its rivers, the city will remain for a long time. Stone and brick, concrete and asphalt, glass. Time deals gently with them. A window pane loosens, vibrates, breaks in a gusty wind. Lightning strikes, loosens the tiles of a cornice. The shade trees on the avenues die in their shallow pockets. Bats fly from the 59th floor. City dies slowly.
In the afternoon, I saw smoke from a chimney in the Bronx. I drove to the house, a small house, and knocked on the door. I heard footsteps. When the door opened, I saw a little bald man with a broad smile, holding a handful of playing cards.
Milt Carson. How do you do? Come on in. You're in time for supper.
Well, thanks. I just ate.
This is Mrs. Carson.
How are you?
Won't you sit down?
Thanks.
Where are you from?
California.
I had a relative there.
We're just finishing a hand of gin. Say, look here. Isn't that a beauty?
Oh, the television set? Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a combination radio, television set, radio player. I'll bet it even does the washing. It took us 2 days to get it up the steps from the radio store.
I always wanted a set like that.
Yes. But there's nothing on the air.
Sir, always wanted a set like that. Jen, there you are.
I owe you $10,000.
Well, give it to me tomorrow. There's a busted window at the Chase National. All the money you want. I carry $50,000 with me all the time just to be on the safe side.
Of course you can't buy anything with it now, but sure feels nice to carry around.
How about some salami?
No, thanks. I just ate.
Oh, yeah. Say, do you like canasta?
Not much at cards.
Oh, canasta I could teach you. It's simple, like rummy, but a little different. What I was wondering was, why don't you stay here? Got everything you'd want right here in the Bronx. Need a coat for the lady, break a window at I.J. Fox. You should see some of the diamonds I got Mrs. Carson at Tiffany's yesterday. Beauties. Hey, where are you going?
I've got to get started.
Well, where? There ain't no place to go.
Lots of luck.
Well, thanks, but I wish you could stay with us.
No, thanks. Goodbye. Oh, the scavengers. How long would they last? Through the winter? And it was doubtful. There'd be no central heating. Even breaking furniture in the fireplace wouldn't keep them alive. They were like highly bred spaniels or Pekingese who walked the city's streets at the end of their leashes. They would die with the city a season or two later, pneumonia or accident. The Negro in Oklahoma with his heart to the land, he would survive. Milt Carson and his new wife? No. They were waiting for death at the card table. 2 weeks later, I was in San Francisco again. The streets were just as bare as when I left. The lights were still on, but dimmer now. Water flowed still from the faucets. But San Francisco had a new population, the dogs. They hunted in packs, all breeds bound together in the common search for food. Danes, Dalmatians, Scotties, toys, all of them. The dogs had taken over the city. And I decided to move back into the house because of the familiar things. Late one afternoon, I went out to look around the neighborhood, and I heard the yelping too late. As I looked around me, I saw myself being surrounded by dogs. They were hungry, ravenously hungry, and they started to close in. The car was on the street some 50 feet away. If I could make the car. The dog made a lunge for me. I kicked violently and started to run. They were after me, some of them running at my legs. We reached the car, opened the door, and slammed it. They climbed to the window, baring their fangs, their red tongues wet with hunger. But I was safe. Then the night. And that night, the lights went out. The lights. The lights. Hey, the lights. What happened to the lights? I looked out over the city. It was black. Black as death. The age of electricity was over. Finished. And there were candles. Mom kept them for ceremonial occasions in the buffet, and I found myself hoarding matches and flashlights, candles, piling them up in the corners. There was only night and day. Time had lost its meaning. And I had food and clothing. And then I had books to read. The Bible. And I read the Bible.
Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine.
There was a faint but unmistakable light burning that night a mile away on Nob Hill. I got into the car and drove to the light. I parked the car. I reached for my hammer. In the window, a shadow moved. As I approached the door, a flashlight caught me in its glare. I stopped, dead still. I waited for someone to say, "Put your hands up." "Who are you?" There was a breath of perfume.
That's a nice car.
I can pick up a better one on any street corner.
Come on in.
Thanks.
How about some coffee?
Sounds good.
How come you didn't find me before this?
I just saw the light tonight. I decided to investigate.
I saw your light lots of times.
Oh?
You live down on San Lupo Drive.
Well, why didn't you come in?
Woman's pride. Man's supposed to come after the woman.
Uh-huh. That was before. There are no rules now.
No, but they're habits. Want yours black?
Yeah, black's fine.
I don't want you to think you're the first one I've met. There were 5 or 6 others. They saw the light and they came in. They had coffee and I sent them on.
What about me?
I don't know you.
Well, I'm clean, well-educated, healthy, young.
Those are the good things.
I dislike turnips, canned beans, stupid people.
What's your name?
You'll laugh.
I won't laugh. What's your name?
Isherwood, my mother's maiden name. Everybody calls me Ish.
Well, mine's Emma. Emma and Ish. Nobody's going to write me love songs with that combination.
No. No, imagine they will.
I like you. Coffee will be ready in a minute.
Emma, will you come and live with me?
I don't know you.
What is there to know? That I like you, and you like me? That we're both alone? Emma?
What?
Emma? Good.
Ceremony. There ought to be some kind of ceremony.
Have you a Bible?
Bible? On the mantle. I've never used it. I just had it. Here.
Give me your hand. Now, we shall be together always. Emma was warm and understanding, a good woman, a healthy woman. Soon there was a baby to be born. I had read some books, but I couldn't read enough. I stood by her during the night and tried to help. When the morning came, we had a son, the first born since the great disaster. Then there was the matter of time.
We won't need to know the exact hour.
No, that's true. The clocks have stopped, but what's the difference? We eat when we're hungry, and when we're tired, we go to bed.
But the months and the years. It's important to know when the year ends.
Oh, that's what I've been doing out on the porch.
What is that thing out there?
Well, it's a transit. See, I set it towards the sun, and when the sun reaches the winter solstice, I know that to be the shortest day of the year. And that will be our New Year.
Well, New Year's Day isn't the shortest day of the year.
No, December 21st is. And we'll make that our New Year. Man's always been trying to get close to that date for the New Year, but calendar makers always went off.
How long will it be?
A few days.
And then it'll be 1950 what?
No. That was the old calendar. This will be our year 1.
The year 1. We must call it something. I know. We'll call it the year of the baby.
The new life began around the simple problems of Emma, myself, and the baby. The day came when the sun reversed its path. I took my hammer and a chisel. Emma and I found a tall, smooth rock in what had once been a small public park. In the rock, I carved the figure 1. The new beginning, I said to her. The rebirth of man. In the year 2, the rats came. San Francisco was overrun with them. They had broken into most of the grocery stores, torn open the cartons, gorged themselves, and gave birth to more rats. They multiplied by the hundreds and then the thousands. Rats, the carriers of deadly bubonic plague.
Quick, they're getting in.
Where?
Here. They shoot through the door.
Now get me that kitchen chair. Hurry now, hurry.
Here. They're going to the bedroom toward the baby.
Now hold the chair against the opening. I'll nail it later.
The baby! The baby!
I rushed into the bedroom, taking my hammer with me. There were 2 of them, tremendous rats. I stationed myself at the crib. One came toward me, unafraid, for the fear of man had been bred out of them. And I flung the hammer at him. I missed. The rat leaped into the crib. I threw a blanket over him and flung him to death on the floor. Then I picked up the hammer and threw it at the other one. Dead. Dead. But that was just 2 of them. Outside, I could hear hundreds squealing, their tiny feet scratching at the walls. How long would it be before they destroyed us? Man was gone now. This was the age of the rats.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. You have just heard Part 1 of Earth Abides by George Stewart, specially adapted for Escape by David Ellis. John Daner was starred as Ish, with Larry Dobkin as Dr. Stanley, and Peggy Weber as M. Featured in the cast were Michael Ann Barrett, Parley Bear, Ron Brogan, Paul Frees, and Lou Krugman. The special music for Escape was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week, Escape will bring you the second half of Earth Abides, truly one of the most gripping and terrifying novels of recent years. This is CBS, where you spend an hour with Frank Sinatra every Sunday afternoon on the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, 2 criminals are holding Tonga in the subcellar of a Venus skyscraper. As Buzz and Happy advance toward the men, they pass a large ventilating tunnel covered with a metal screen. One of the men throws a switch, and behind the screen, the blades of a giant fan start to whirl.
They've turned the ventilator fan on. Rush them, Happy. Yes, sir. I can't stay on my feet. Keep away from the grating. I can't move. The air suction pulled me against the grating. It's got me, too. Try to pull loose, Happy. The wind's too strong. Commander, the grating is sliding up. Pull, Happy. Pull hard. If you don't get out of this tunnel, we'll be pulled into the fan.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Top Secret D-Ray.
Boy, oh boy, gang, here's something I'll bet you just never dreamed you could own. I mean a pair of those amazing new Space Patrol space binoculars. A pair just like the commander uses himself. Now, you know how he can look way off in the distance with his space binoculars? Well, kids, you can do the same with yours. You can read signs blocks and blocks away, watch far-off traffic, study birds in high trees, and do lots and lots of other things with your space binoculars all year long. Now, these are not flimsy goggles or a mask. These are great big plastic space binoculars that stand out from your eyes a full 3.5 inches. Why, you don't even have to use your hands when you're looking through space binoculars. They have a strong elastic band that holds them snugly to your eyes. It's swell for playing Space Patrol because then your hands are free to drive your rocket ship or to hold your cosmic smoke gun. Now remember, these are real fixed-focus 4-power binoculars with 4 pure lucite lenses. Real binoculars 5 inches long, 5 inches wide. The greatest offer we've ever made on Space Patrol. But, gang, the offer soon ends, so don't miss out. Send for your space binoculars today. Just buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. If you don't agree that your binoculars are tops, send them back and we'll return your money. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have just blasted off from Terra and have set their vector for the lunar fleet base on the Earth's moon. One of the busiest spaceports in the solar system, the fleet base is also the center of scientific research into the development of space flight. For the past week, it's been open house at the base, with guided tours for throngs of visitors from Earth and many of the other planets. Tonga has been assigned to special duty at the base to see that security regulations are observed. Buzz and Happy plan to spend 2 days at this moon spaceport and then bring Tonga back to Terra.
Mind if I tell you something, sir?
What, Happy?
Well, I didn't say anything one way or the other, but, well, I'm certainly glad I wasn't assigned to duty at the fleet base this week.
Somehow I get the impression that you don't exactly care for the idea of herding tourists around.
Oh, it might have been fun for a couple of days, but, gee, a whole week. Why, I'd rather fly through the meteor belt than a bird cage.
I know what you mean. Just the same, Visitors Week at the Lunar Base has been fine for public relations. You'd be surprised at the number of people who are on the moon this week who've never made a space flight before.
Tonga, Lunar Fleet Base, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5. Tonga, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here. Go ahead, Tonga.
Commander, I have an emergency message. I'm cutting to Scrambler Circuit, code 5.
All right, Tonga. I'll adjust the receiver. Code 5 circuit cut in. Go ahead.
There has been a security leak on the D-Ray project here at the base.
The D-Ray project?
Yes, Commander. A strip of microfilm containing the basic designs has been taken from the files.
Do you have any idea when the theft occurred?
Within the last 3 days.
Order the base commander to declare condition red and ground all spaceships. The thief may still be on the base.
Condition red is already in effect, Commander. Colonel Jacobson issued the order 20 minutes ago.
Good. That film must not be smuggled off the base. Tonga, cut on your tape recorder and take this message. Feed it through the public address system at the spaceport every 10 minutes.
Ready, Commander.
Here's the message. Attention, everyone, base personnel and visitors. No film of any kind is to be taken from the base until checked by security officers. Film that is cleared will be sealed and returned to passengers after they're permitted to board their ships. Film not surrendered to security officers will be automatically blanked out by cancel ray machines as passengers and luggage pass through the gates. To preserve your personal films, follow these regulations. End of message.
I have it recorded, Commander. It will be put on the base PA system immediately.
We don't want to keep innocent people on the base longer than necessary, so run the films through inspection as rapidly as full security methods permit.
Yes, Commander.
Happy and I will arrive at Lunar Fleet Base in approximately 3 hours. We'll contact you upon arrival. Corey out.
Commander, what is this D-Ray project?
The D-Ray is a new defense ray. It can make any unfriendly spaceship completely powerless, even at great distances. It neutralizes all electrical fields.
Hey, it would cut off all controls so you couldn't maneuver the ship or fire weapons.
You couldn't even use the spacerphone or viewscope.
And those are the plans that have been stolen?
Yes, and that means that somebody could build a D-Ray to use against Space Patrol ships, if they got away. That's why we have to get that microfilm back.
Smoking rockets.
I want to spaceophone Major Robertson and have him transmit the pictures and records of everyone suspected of espionage to the Lunar Fleet Base. Take over the controls, Happy.
Yes, sir.
And keep it on vector.
Yes, sir.
Your film has been cleared, sir. It will be returned to you aboard your ship as soon as transportation is available. Next. Your name, please.
Bob Morgan.
You have some film to declare?
Yes, ma'am. It's in this can. It's a home movie of my family and some friends. Only a couple of shots of the fleet base. The guide said it was okay to take them.
I'll have to run them off, Mr. Morgan. If you'll step into the projection room with me.
Sure. You'll probably find them pretty dull. I'm not much good at taking pictures. Now, this is about the last of the shots I made on Venus. That's my wife and our youngest daughter, Susie.
Oh, what a cute little girl.
Thank you.
Oh? Is this what you filmed here in the base?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, that's rocket chute number 1.
I got a ship blasting off, but they didn't have the camera aim right.
Well, that's the end of the reel.
I guess you're glad that's over. Unless you know the people involved, home movies are pretty dull usually.
Well, I'm sure you and your family will enjoy these when you get back to, Mars, isn't it, Mr. Morgan?
Yeah. Films are all right, then?
Oh, perfectly. I'll give you a clearance check, and they'll be returned to you aboard the Mars Express.
Well, thanks, miss. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Ladies and gentlemen, please. We're checking your films as rapidly as we can. Just wait your turn and be patient, please. Now, who's next?
Is the crowd giving you much trouble, Tonga?
Oh, Commander. No, I haven't had any trouble, but the people have had their holiday and they're impatient to get home.
The thief or thieves must have planned to take the microfilms when we had thousands of visitors on our hands. Can we go somewhere where we can talk?
We can use the room next to the projection room.
Fine. Let's go. Happy will be with us in a few minutes. I have him waiting for some pictures and data Robbie's sending us by viewscope facsimile.
Oh, in here, Commander.
Any trace of microfilm, Tonga?
No. The only microfilm any of the security officers have found is of a regular business record nature.
Any indication of blow-ups of microfilm to regular amateur size?
None.
Wow, what a mob. I thought I'd never get through. Cadet, how much longer do I have to wait? Cadet, why is the Space Patrol interested in pictures of my daughter's wedding? Oh.
It's understandable, Happy. Got the pictures?
Oh, yes, sir, quite a batch of them. And background data as well.
Look through these, Tonga. See if you can recognize any of these people as having been here at the fleet base.
All right, Commander.
Anything on the D-Ray films, Commander?
Not yet, Happy.
Commander, this man looks familiar. I think I've seen him here.
Which one?
This one. He had some amateur movies of his family. A reel he'd taken on Venus. Morgan is his name. Bob Morgan.
Very interesting. According to the record, Morgan was picked up on Mars last week. He was suspected of violating security regulations there and released for lack of evidence.
Well, there was nothing wrong with his films. Just his wife and daughter Susie and, well, a couple of harmless shots of the base.
Yes, but look at this. Morgan was also questioned on Venus with a certain Art Robertson, also released for lack of evidence. Say, Morgan doesn't have any children. In fact, he isn't married.
What? Now, why would a man lie about a perfectly harmless amateur film?
Tonga, have you got someone who can take over your duties here?
Captain Thornton has been working with me.
He will assume your duties. You're to blast off for Venus City and try to get a line on Morgan's friend, Art Robertson. Happy and I'll head from Mars to check on Mr. Morgan. As soon as you have any information, relay it to me through Space Patrol Unit Headquarters on Mars.
Can't you speed up that projector, Morgan? I'm tired of looking at these phony home movies.
You're tired of them. I've seen this film a dozen times while I was editing and doctoring it at the fleet base, and I had to look at it again at security. Okay, I'll speed it up. Well, the place where I dubbed in the documents is coming up shortly.
You must have done a good job if the assistant security chief passed it.
It's lucky I took all that trouble out. Even though we thought we could get off the fleet base before anyone discovered the D-Ray plans were gone, it didn't work out that way.
Now, what happened?
Some eager beaver engineer started his shift 3 hours early. Now, we're getting close. Watch this, There. I've stopped the film on a frame of the little girl.
I don't see anything unusual.
No, neither did security. Watch now. I'll switch to the microfilm lens on the projector.
All I see is a plain white space with a blue border.
That's a blow-up of one of the white checks on the girl's skirt. The blue border is made by the adjoining blue squares.
You mean one tiny square fills the whole screen? I still don't see anything.
You will when I cut off the regular lamp and turn on the infrared.
Jump on Jupiter, the D-ray plans.
Right. That's page 1. The next 20 frames are other pages concealed in squares of the girl's skirt.
Great job, Morgan. Terrific.
Nearly went nuts. First I had to project the original microfilm, photograph it in infrared on another microfilm. Then came the tough part. I had to superimpose the plans on the regular-sized film inside one of those tiny squares.
You did a great job, Art, and take the D-ray strip to Venus.
Now will we collect?
Yeah. But it'll take me a couple of days to establish contact with the man who pays off. Naturally, he's...
4 minutes out of Lowell City, sir.
Take over for the landing, Happy.
Tonga, Venus City, Space Patrol Headquarters, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5. Tonga, calling Commander Corey.
Corey here, go ahead.
I've been checking on Art Robertson, Commander. Got the word earlier than I thought I would.
Let's have it.
He left here for Lowell City about 5 days ago.
Then there's a good chance he came to Mars to meet Morgan. One of our agents at Lowell City has found Morgan's location. We'll stay in Venus City, Tonga. Find out who Robertson's friends are. See if you can run down any definite contacts or connections between Robertson and Morgan.
Yes, Commander.
Happy and I'll handle things at the Lowell City end. Corey out.
Yeah?
Mr. Robert Morgan?
Oh, why, yes.
I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol. This is Cadet Happy. We'd like to talk to you.
Sure. Come in, gentlemen.
After you, sir.
Mr. Morgan, you brought back some film from the Lunar Fleet Base, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. I have the clearance certificate from your security officer. Like to see it?
We'd like to see the film. We want to examine it again.
Sure. I have it right here on the table.
Thank you. Here, Hap, take care of this.
Yes, sir.
Anything wrong, Commander? I mean, with the film?
I hope not. Oh, by the way, is your wife home?
She's visiting her sister in Jupiter City.
I see. And your daughter Sally is with her, I suppose.
Yeah, Sally's with her.
Mr. Morgan, unless I'm mistaken, when our security officer was running the film at the base, you told her your daughter's name was Susie.
Why, we call her Sally as a sort of a nickname.
In our files, Mr. Morgan, you're listed as being single.
Well, I'll tell you. Actually, that film belongs to a friend of mine. I thought I could get it through inspection quicker if I acted as though it were mine. I realize now it was foolish and unnecessary.
We'll give the reel a very thorough examination at the security lab. You'll hear from us then.
Fine, Commander.
Say, that's a pretty fancy projector.
I was just noticing that, Happy. An expensive professional model, isn't it?
Yes, hobby of mine.
Yeah, it's got a lot of extra gadgets on it, too. And they seem to be similar to those in the security lab.
Mm-hmm. A turret with several different lenses, including one for microfilm, and with an infrared attachment.
Hey, we could run it off right here.
Say, Morgan.
Get him, Robertson. It's a Space Patrol.
Hey, look out, Commander! Commander!
You warned him too late, Cadet.
We got in just in time.
Get the film.
What do we do with Corey and the cadet?
We got to get him out of here. We'll have to take him to Venus with us. Maybe on the way we'll finish him off without leaving a clue.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. But in the meantime, here's a quick 3-act play. Act 1 begins with a boy and his mother in a house in a kitchen in the morning.
Fill her up, Mom. Rice checks.
Now there's a boy who knows what he's talking about. He wants a bowl of delicious rice checks for breakfast. Rice Chex, the shredded rice super cereal, spun in that modern bite-sized design. Act 2, next morning, same house, same boy. And in the kitchen, he's lifting up that bowl again.
Fill her up, Mom. Wheat checks.
Yep, today he wants Wheat Chex, power-packed Wheat Chex, swell-tasting shredded wheat biscuits in that same modern bite-sized design. Third act, third day, same kitchen, same boy.
Fill her up, Mom. Instant Ralston.
Yes, sir, today he wants to warm up his motor, so for him it's Instant Ralston, the cereal with flavor galore. Good hot Ralston. And so ends our play. And, gang, here's the moral. For a super breakfast, eat a super cereal. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex, good hot roastin'. Bob Morgan has stolen a set of microfilm plans for the secret D-Ray from the Lunar Fleet Base by superimposing them on an innocent-appearing film of regular size. Buzz and Happy, suspicious of Morgan because of discrepancies in his story, found the film containing the defense secret. But before they could examine it, Morgan's accomplice, Art Robertson, arrived, and the two men overpowered the space patrolman in a fight in a darkened room. Right now, with Buzz and Happy locked in a compartment, Morgan and Robertson are in a spaceship approaching Venus.
We aren't going to land in Venus City with Corey and the cadet aboard, are we?
No. No, we'll set the ship down at my place on the Turquoise River and get rid of them then. Get the ozone cylinder, hook it up. We'll turn it on just after we land and leave Corey's compartment unlocked. I'll land the ship.
Commander, they've landed. I wonder where we are.
Listen. They're out in the corridor by the door. Watch your chance. If they open it, we'll jump them.
Yes, sir.
Leave them in there, Morgan. We'll attend to them when we come back.
Okay.
Sounds like they're leaving the ship for something.
Yeah. Did you hear a click just then?
I don't think so, sir.
I think one of them was about to open the door when the other one called him away. Try the handle.
Right, sir. It's unlocked.
Open the door a little. Listen. Hear anything?
I thought I heard the hatch close.
Let's get out of here. Happy. Look out the viewport. There they are.
Yeah. Heading for that little building.
By the looks of the landscape, we must be on Venus. And if I'm not mistaken, there's the Turquoise River.
It sure looks like it. I wonder what they're up to.
They've got our weapons, or we could rush them.
Yeah, well, maybe we could take them by surprise when they come back.
Those D-Ray plans at stake. I don't want to risk failure. We'll blast off in their ship and space a phone to Venus City for help.
It's a great idea, sir. They can't get very far away, even if they do try to escape.
And we can watch them from the air. Come on, let's get to the cockpit.
Boy, this is really a break.
We needed one. I have an idea that Morgan and Robertson are ready to see that we didn't get out of this.
There. All secured for blast off, sir.
And let's go. There they go.
Yeah, just the way you planned it. How long will it take for that ozone to take effect?
Just a couple of minutes. After a few lungfuls of that contaminated oxygen, they'll get sick and dizzy. Before they can land, they'll black out. And there'll be a terrible tragedy on the Space Patrol records.
Where's your submarine?
It's hidden under the wharf on the river. Come on, let's get down to it.
We'll maintain this altitude, Happy, and keep circling over them.
I can see them in the viewscope, sir. They're heading for the river.
Do you see any boat they could escape in? What's the matter, Hap?
Oh, nothing, sir. My eyes blurred for a minute, that's all. No, there's no boat near the wharf.
I'll put that spacephone call through now. Commander Corey aboard private cruiser VP784 calling Space Patrol Venus City. Commander Corey aboard private cruiser V... What was that number, Hap?
Well, it's on the panel, sir. Oh, smoking rockets I can hardly see.
Commander Corey calling Space Patrol Venus City.
Hey, Commander, the controls.
Oh, thanks, Hap.
Yeah. I feel sick.
Something's wrong with the air in this ship. Happy, quickly. See if you can find a couple of spacesuits.
Yes, sir.
Hurry.
Suit's hard to get on. I feel so weak.
I'll help you, Happy. There. Now close the face piece.
Let's hope the oxygen supply works.
Is your suit receiver working, Happy? Yes, sir. I read you. Take several deep breaths. My head's clearing already. So is mine. I checked the viewscope. Do you see Morgan and Robertson? No, sir. Last I saw of them, they were headed for the wharf. Do you suppose they're swimming across the river? Well, keep watching, Happy. I'll check the air analyzer and see what's wrong. Of course, they might have gone back to the building while we were putting on our suits. Boy, I sure thought I was going out there for a while. No wonder. The ship's air indicator's in the red. A few more breaths and we'd have been finished.
Hey, there is a boat down there. It's coming out from under the wharf.
It's an odd-looking craft.
Hey, now it's gone. It sank.
Submerged is more accurate.
A miniature sub.
Right. I'm afraid we fell into a trap. They wanted us to blast off on this ship. Have me check the air system, see what they rigged up. I'll notify Venus River Patrol to take soundings up and down the river for that sub.
Where are we now?
Right where we want to be. Pier 7, Venus City dock area. 8 fathoms deep.
Safe to surface here?
Sure. We come up under Pier 7. There's a ladder that leads up through a trapdoor into a tool shed. A few minutes from now, we'll be in the streets of Venus City, ready to sell the D-Ray plans.
Yeah. No one able to trace us.
I'll cut the motors now. We're going to the surface.
We hit Venus City at just the right time. The streets are deserted.
Yeah. Turn left at this corner. We'll walk over to the business section and hail a surface taxi.
No. Sorry, lady.
Why don't you look where you're going?
I beg your pardon, but you came around the corner.
Yeah, I pulled. We're sorry.
Wait, you're Bob Morgan.
We're in a hurry.
Wait, you're under arrest, both of you.
We're bumping into you? Don't be stupid.
She's from the fleet base, a security officer.
That's right. And you have to come with me to headquarters.
That's what you think.
Let go of me.
Put your hand over her mouth so she can't yell.
Okay. Hold still, you.
We can't ever spread the news we're in town. Drag her into the alley.
Leave her there?
No. The new building my company is moving to is a block from here. There won't be anybody there this time of night. I'll guard her while you go get a surface car.
Surface car?
Yeah, so we can haul her to the river. Come on, I'll help you carry her.
Where am I now?
Told you before, you're in the basement of the Marcab building, 4th Avenue and Venus Boulevard, Venus City. Here's Morgan. Hey, what took you so long?
I had trouble renting a car, but I got one. Come on, let's get her out of here.
Okay, Tonga. Here we go.
All right, Morgan, Robertson.
It's Corey and the cadet.
Let go of Tonga and get your hands up.
Quick, Morgan, down this corridor toward the ventilator intake. Take the girl. Corey won't dare shoot.
Let go.
Come on.
You're getting away, Commander. After them, Happy.
Robertson, it's a dead end.
Go to the far wall. We'll make a stand there. Come on, you.
Commander!
We haven't got a chance.
With the girl here, we can bargain with Corey. All right, press back into this corner, under the switch box.
You might as well give up, you two.
Come and get us.
Come on, Happy.
Are you crazy? We left our ray guns in the sub.
Corey will have to pass in front of that big grating. When he does, I'll throw the switch.
What'll that do?
There's an 8-foot ventilator fan back there. It'll create a vacuum strong enough to pull them right up against the grating.
Commander! Happy, don't come any closer.
Shut up. Morgan, pull the switch.
Push him, Happy. Yes, sir. Turn that off. Commander, I can't move.
Come on and get us, Corey.
Suction.
Now, Corey, I'm going to release the grating.
Happy, if we can slump down, maybe we can crawl away from the vents. Commander, the grating is sliding up. We'll be pulled back into the fan. I can still move my arm. I can throw my gun and hit that switch and short it out. Aim straight, Commander. Here goes. Hey, you did it, sir. A bullseye.
Quickly, Happy, rush them. They hit the switch. Morgan, pick up that ray gun.
No, you don't. Get away from it, Morgan. All right, Robertson.
Yes. No more. No more. I've had enough.
How about you, Morgan? Sorry, Commander, but Mr. Morgan is out. Are you all right, Tonga?
Yes, Commander. I guess you heard my miniature spaceophone.
Yes, and Robertson's ship. Good thing you had it on. It was lucky Morgan had trouble locating a surface car. All right, Robertson. Where's that film strip?
It's right here in my pocket.
Hand it over. Happy, see if you can revive our fleet-based tourist, Morgan.
Oh, he's not a tourist any longer. Where he's going, he'll be a permanent resident.
We'll be back with an action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story in just a moment. Hey, gang, have you sent for your Space Patrol space binoculars yet? Well, you better hurry, because this offer is soon going to end. Now, remember, space binoculars are real binoculars. Big, powerful binoculars you can see way off in the distance with. And when I say they're big, when I say they're powerful, I mean it. Space binoculars are 5 inches long, 5 inches wide. They're 4 power binoculars, and that means they make people, cars, buildings, everything else in the distance look 4 times closer. Now, they're not old-fashioned binoculars that you have to hold in your hand. They're sleek, new, modern plastic binoculars with an elastic band that holds them snugly to your eyes. Just think of the fun. You can spot planes in the sky, watch birds and squirrels in the trees, identify cars blocks away, read signs way off in the distance, and do lots and lots of other things with them day and night all year long. Absolutely the greatest value we've ever offered. But don't forget, this offer soon ends. So hurry. Send for your official Space Patrol space binoculars today. Just buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, an exciting preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol story. Buzz and Happy have conceived an extremely daring and dangerous plan to surprise two criminals who are holding Carol captive in the Martian hills. Right now, they're nearing the hideout in a small atmosphere ship.
We're getting close, sir.
Fasten your safety belt, Happy. Here's where we would develop power failure intentionally.
I'm all set, sir.
Hang on. I'm about to make the worst landing of my career.
The ground's coming up awfully fast.
You gotta make this look like a disastrous crash.
Okay, but it's beginning to look too realistic.
Brace yourself. It's beginning to look like a real thing to me, too. We're losing control.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, Crash Landing, when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, Nina Vera, and Stephen Robertson. Dick Tufel speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.